Hello and welcome back, folks, to the VCT Game Changers APAC. We are now in the upper brackets, and this is the Zach Quack attack hitting you with all the Valorant action. It's now Bren Esports Victress versus Alter Ego Celeste. This is, I believe, like one of the biggest matchups that we could possibly have because they are basically the top two placings on our leaderboards right now, and it's not going to be. I mean, we had that three map series with SMG and Aresta. This is probably going to be three maps as well.
Yeah, definitely. Odds are high, and all these teams have faced off before, but so far, our Alter Ego does not want to let Bren get any kind of victory on them. I think so many of the wins that they've gotten against them have been 2-0s or 3-0s. I think there were Bren is showing signs of life though, because I think the last time they faced off in the Open 2 Grand Finals, they didn't manage to get a map off them at least. But so far, Bren is having no dice against Alter Ego here. And of course, it's Alter Ego who is going to be playing this matchup much more relaxed because guess what? They already qualified for the lead here with them making it into the playoffs. So, Bren, they're going to have the pressure on their shoulders.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of that going on around, but still, that said, you can't really let that psych yourself out when you're going up against a team like Alter Ego Celeste. I mean, maybe they're going to have a little bit of fun. Maybe that's going to lead to them making some mistakes. I don't know. Anari's going to hate me for saying that, but I mean, you probably don't really see it happen. They do go really aggressively at times. They are that confident because they are that sharp. They have insanely strong mechanics. Brent, on the other hand, is a team that focuses a lot more on their team plays, their teamwork, and how they approach the map that way. If they, if they can if they can actually overwhelm Alter Ego Celeste that way, they might actually be able to, I don't know, do some damage.
Yeah, I think that's the call here because a lot of the times I think the maps that Bren Esport has taken off Alter Ego Celeste, it's not one particular player that stands out. It's them as a team who managed to drive it in. And that's what they want to be trying to capitalize on today. Of course, I'd say that unlike a lot of other teams, if you think about SMG, for example, the first player who comes to mind is Kohaibi. If you think of Thirst Threats, for example, who we saw yesterday, you think of the radar player there. I'm sorry, the name has slipped my mind. But the point is that a lot of teams here, they do have this single player who the team tries to pivot around. But it's both an advantage and a disadvantage for Bren that for them, there's no such thing. It's just them winning as a team or losing as a team. And that's pretty interesting to see. On the other hand, though, for AECL, we saw it yesterday, we've seen it before, and inarguably, the star is going to be Ineri, and
Of course.
I don't know how she does it. I really do not.
I mean, she plays every day. She's someone who really dedicates so much time to this game, and she does her aim training routine. She warms up. She plays deathmatch. She is just that good, and it's just something about Indonesian Jet players that makes them so sharp. That said, though, I mean, you talked about it. This is an interesting topic. I will admit, like, there are teams that tend to pivot around that one star player and try to support them as much as possible. You might say that of Alter Ego Celeste. Like, Aneri does come to mind. But that said, I do think that every single player from that team is also on par. Every single player on that team is also that good. I mean, Ayumi has so many moments where she is able to pop off that way as well. So you can say the same for Oreophilia, Ayumi, even I kind of forgot the last player. That's thank you, Nevsky. I mean, she was like a manager at some point after Tarathiel left. She came in, and she's definitely showing that past four opens, she doesn't drop the ball at all. This is a team to be feared, and that is why map selection is going to be so important. And the way that it's played out already, I mean, just seeing this, Bren banning Haven because of how Alter Ego Celeste played on Haven yesterday against Aresta.
It's just not against the rest. I think Alter Ego Celeste is almost never
Yeah,
lost on it.
you're
So
right.
it's completely understandable. Yesterday was just a cherry on top of the damn cake, and it is going to be Breeze, in fact, that's going to be the first pick coming in from AECL. And again, this is one of those maps where players like Inari and, of course, Ayumi really shine because there are a lot of these long sightlines that need extreme pinpoint accuracy to get those shots. And, of course, when you do have those two players probably on the Jet and the Chamber, Breeze is odds are it's going to be a breeze here, especially with Bren starting off on defense because, ACL has like a talent for finding the gaps in the defense here, especially on a map like Breeze. All it takes is one player to fall for the defending side, and it's just free pickings all around. It makes life really, really rough. So I think that is what Alter Ego is trying to capitalize on. But second map here, I don't know about that.
I think it's something that makes sense. I mean, it's the next best option. So many times Bren has performed incredibly well on the map Ascent, but unfortunately, that was just instantly banned by Alter Ego Celeste. So their next option, it's probably going to be Icebox, I guess. That said, though, I do want to point out that just an interesting statistic. Probably the probable reason why Alter Ego Celeste picks Breeze against Bren is just because SMG beat them on Breeze 13-9 yesterday. And who knows? I mean, if Bren hasn't really figured out what went wrong with that map yesterday, Alter Ego Celeste just might be able to sneak off with a really quick win with those possible plays that you mentioned, like with trying to go for really precise shots and everything. Icebox again, though, I mean, it's just a map that with a team like Bren, they're able to maneuver around the map so methodically together as a full squad. That's something that could overwhelm Alter Ego Celeste, given the way that they're kind of just really individually gifted. The entire team. I mean, that happened yesterday with an area as well. They might just be looking to kind of outnumber one of these players and then slowly pick them off apart that way. I'm not sure if that could work though, because that's it. Like, yeah, watching those aces and those clips from Alter Ego Celeste yesterday on Icebox, it's not an easy feat to play against such a team.
I mean, I think their win percentage is almost flawless. I think across the board, like all their tournaments, and this is a team that participates in VCT Opens as well. Their lose rate on their win rate on Icebox is 87%. That is staggering. So that's why I was kind of skeptical about the second map being this. But honestly, the thing about Alter Ego is that Breeze is a map that they've rarely had a chance to play on, and they don't really have a stable composition. So it's really interesting to see what kind of team comp they are going to be going for. This works in their favor as well as disadvantage because they might not have as much practice, but there's not as much information available either for Bren to figure out a strategy. Either way, though, heading into Agent Select, it is going to be the combo Chamber and Jet coming in from Ayumi and Inari.
Yeah.
Iceberg on her customary Sova. Oreo continuing with her controller plays as she picks up that Viper. And Natsuki on the KO, which I'm really excited to see because when Chamber is almost like 100% pick rate, or when you know that Viper walls are incredibly important, that KO is exactly what you need to shut that stuff down.
I completely agree. The thing that I am curious about, though, is Mikasi on the Sage. A Sage on a Breeze is not the most common thing, but there are uses for it for sure. I mean, the Barrier Orb is still something that can block off a lot of sights. It's also something that can be used to put yourself into really obscure elevated positions that opponents might not expect. Slow Orb's just a standard stall, but I'm just trying to think, like, that versus something like a KO or a Sova, you're giving away some to take some different advantages, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what Bren wants to do against a team like Alter Ego Celeste.
Yeah, it's definitely a high risk strategy, and the reward seems to be considerably less because, again, like if it's just for the healing, you could run a Sky Instant that would give you some additional information. But perhaps what they want is the Barrier Orb. It buys them nice 30 seconds if they wall off, say, the elbow or double doors or something, and they want to use that to establish some more map control possibly. That's the only thing I can see. But anyway, we are going to be heading into the game, so we can see exactly what Bren was thinking when they did put Mikase on the stage. Especially, it's interesting considering the fact that they are on defense when we're heading in, so perhaps that might be it.
It really could be. I mean, it does come down to the wall, doesn't it? you could, like you mentioned, doors. But I'm just trying to think, like, are there that many, like, cheeky, I don't know, like grim walls, for example, with the stage? On a map like Breeze, I just haven't seen that much of it, to be honest. So who knows what Bren has up their sleeves. Instantly walling off halls is one way to work and block off Alter Ego Celeste, but they're just going to chip that down.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to use your guns, you can use your knives, and that's it. The wall goes down immediately, and that's just one more thing that they have to take care of. The halls area, especially with the door open right now, it's going to make things so much worse. But look at the flank. Alexi as well as Zinni making their way up. They know where the trademark is, but unfortunately for Alexi, she doesn't have anything to smoke it off so they can cross over.
Ooh.
And Ali is going to get the first pick on a Neri. That's going to be the first pick coming through. And of course, the trademark is gone, so Oriophilia is going to be pulled back from the halls to watch for the flank here, as the rest of the team should be heading towards site pretty soon. Never mind, she has a spike. She is going to be waiting for this barrier to possibly go down and make her way onto site. Ayumi already there to back her up. 4v5, spike should go down soon, but advantage temporarily at least towards Bren here. Never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
And that's Navsky watching the flanks, doing her thing, and here comes the Toxic Queen just in time to allow for Oriophilia to make it out of this alive. Even with utility caught out, it doesn't even matter because the spike's already been planted. Now the onus is on Bren to push up front. And look at how they're positioned so far back, so safe. The sudden peaks coming out from elbow, the sudden peaks coming up from the cave itself, and then Ayumi from the back. Despite losing players, Alter Ego Celeste still makes it out with the win.
That was an extremely dirty shot from Ali, but this from Navsky, this is what got them the round here, getting not only one but two, preventing the trade from coming through, and still, even with that low HP, getting the third. That is absolutely insane coming in from her. And you know, when Tarathiel was leaving, I was kind of worried because this is a team that's been together for a while. But this season, around this year, it's definitely Navsky proving that, you know, I'm pretty great too. You guys should give me some credit, and definitely she deserves it.
She truly is. Those two frags. And now coming into the next, they've got their Spectres. And they are looking to running gun. The top flash doesn't quite connect onto it. But of course Navsky's there for the trade. Look at you. What a way to cover an Ares back. And now pushing up front, they're still going for control over the A site. There's no chance that Bren actually comes in to prevent the spike from going down.
Ooh, it is Lexi holding the cross, though. We'll spot at least one or two players. And in the meantime, Navsky is looking for the ace, denied by Ayumi, sadly. Just one chamber left. Does manage to take down Ayumi, but just one bullet left in the headhunter. No iceberg is there. Tries to get the headshot, but misses out. Picks up the sheriff instead, and it's going to be a 1v3 right now. 16 HP left. Doesn't seem like there's much she can do except some damage here. Pollution given away as well, and Navsky's gonna clean it up. 4 kills for her. Has the null command ready, I think. And yeah, it looks like AECL are in position to try and make the most of this bonus if they want.
Yeah, again, it's just a little bit of damage being taken. They've lost a couple of players, but not the worst thing in the world. It is Alter Ego Celeste after all, but that said, it really is showing that Bren, they've got the chops. I mean, even in that first round. The second round, you know, it was a good stack. They've consistently taken down an area for these 2 rounds now. I think that's quite a win.
Definitely is, and instantly off the bat, it's going to be the null command coming through, and Neri not quite being able to dealt with, but Zinni is still going to be holding that down. Doesn't have the TPO because she gets 4! It's just the 1 left to find for her. 20 HP left, a little bit of thirsting attempts coming in on the KO. Not going through though. Iceberg left in a 1v4 position known as well. And I think Zinni really wants this ace here. Let's get the heal as well. And she's just going to be holding on to the spike. I like this. I know that she's on the ace, but they want to hold on to all of their players, all of these guns, and make sure that, you know, they don't lose too much going into the next round here. Extremely well played by her. Not TPing away when she hears the null command, and more than that, being able to take down a Neri there. That's huge.
Give her the ace. Give her the ace.
I feel you there.
The wall, though. I mean, she was just like Private Jackson from Saving Private Ryan up in that one tower. And now Ali comes in to steal it away. Whatever. Still a big win. I mean, Bren, that's such a strong anchor being able to flick back and forth that way. Like you said, not going for that instant rendezvous. The stray bullet even landing onto her Snapsky in the final moment there. Just incredible. Now moving on into the next. Alter Ego Celeste will get to buy back, but Ayumi actually not looking too good. She might have to, I don't know, go for a bulldog or something.
Possibly. Or she could just play off the pistol and wait for one of her teammates to die. Yeah, that's what she's going to do. Either way, the tour de force is in action here with Zinni holding down the ace side here alone. But Ayumi will be taken down here. 1 down, 4 to go, and Zinni is looking absolutely in today in this game. She does not want to let one more notch on the belt of Alter Ego Celeste fall. And of course, Alexi is lying in wait for Nafsky as the rotation attempt, or at least map control attempt comes through from AACL. One more bullet wasted, 3 left to go, and at this point they're just trying to run it down here. Iceberg slowly creeping her way to side, but Zinni is ready for it. Finally, an area gets one.
Yeah. Alone on the B site. Unfortunately, though, those footsteps can be heard as well, and I'm pretty sure Orophilia heard someone dropping down to shoot. They've got control of the B site, but they need to deliver this package all the way up onto it. And in all that time, Aneri could also reposition herself. She's looking for something, does spot the head. But wow, at such a distance, it's a little bit tough to land the shot, so backing off now. This is a little bit of info for Bren. They've got 3 players and a sniper.
Yeah, definitely. Person advantage, at least, is with Bren here. But they don't know the positions of any of these players. They spotted an Eri, but they don't know where she fell back to. And it's going to be an Eri who is the first point of contact. Often they don't clear this. If they don't clear this, it's going to be so problematic here. Gets one, in fact, on the ace. Yet again, an Eri waiting to pop off, but Mikasi takes her down. It's all in the hands of Orophilia here. Who gets both, and that's sprayed out. ACL bring it back, 2v5. All of Veneri getting that pizza. Wow.
What did I say? I mean, that's Alter Ego Celeste. Even if Aneri is not insanely top fragging, she's still able to come back into the game, single-handedly taking control over the B site. And then despite getting taken out, Orophilia is there to back her up. Even Nabsky is top fragging right now. Each and every single one of them so strong. But still, in all of these rounds, you can see signs of life in Bren. The attempts at map control that they're going for, it actually works out quite well. This time, though, wall orb up towards cave, and it's instantly shot down.
Yep, it is going to be the B side that, the A side that's had almost for free here, as Aneri already pushes back with the Blade Storm. Mikasa does, she drops one, and Aneri might be able to find it, but no, she has to fall back unless she takes her down. And it's going to be just one player left. Nafsky alone in a 1v5. Can't really find anything. And Bren, they bring it back here with a flawless statement made. 2-3.
That was, wow. Never expected to see that coming in from Alter Ego Celeste. Just aggressively going in. I mean, they were setting up for a bit of a play. There was that pop flash from Nabsky, and Neri was meant to connect onto those shots. But that said, Bren were steadfast in recovery. They were so good in getting that early info, the early rotations coming in, and just like that, every single player was there to back up the site, and that's the team play that Bren has.
Let's play.
Definitely, and again, it's going to be a bit of an eco for the side of, the side of ACL. They do have the tour de force from Ayumi here, but the rest of them, there's not much that they can really play with. To be fair, the Marshal is never a weapon that should be counted out here, with Aneri's position being spotted, but nobody is going to be peeking into her, I think, and that's pretty good. Either way, though, it's just a holding pattern coming in right now. Bren knows that they have the advantage when it comes to these weapons, and they really don't want to give them away. And that's the tour de force offline. Zinni taking her counterpart down, and really, really proving her mettle on this map. But Ayumi, never count Ayumi out.
Still, though, she has no idea that Alexi is in this one corner. Zinni also here to back her up, setting up a bit of a pseudo crossfire. And Eri makes quite the move, and there is the frag. 3 players left, and they could be anywhere on the map. That said, though, I don't know if they're actually going to be able to land those shots. Navsky does, though. finds the frag, but now goes in, she runs and swings,
Oh.
she picks up the Vandal, swaps to it, gets the headshot. This is the
30
sight
seconds
over to Alter Ego Celeste. What?
And they have the Viper
enemy
spin, which is gonna
remaining.
make this a retake. Extremely awkward. Iceberg got the flank by Shirazi as well. It's all just down to Ali here. 1v3 has the Viper spin and the Hunter's Fury to deal with. It seems very, very difficult for her. The one thing that she has going is that nobody knows where she is, so
Oh
she
my
might
God.
be able to clear her out. But
Oh.
Ophelia gets her with the classic, and that's gonna be the thrifty for ACL here. Man, Nasky with that play. My heart stopped for a second there.
No,
Look at this.
How do you... How do you have the confidence to just go for a swing like that, to instantly dive towards the Vandal just to pick it up?
I don't know, but it definitely worked out. She just went hopping across to pick it up, and you even then connects with the headshot. Like, it's one thing to be brave enough to go and make that play, but it's another to really capitalize on it. And Napsky, well, she is again just one away from getting that null command online. That's a round that ACL had no business winning. So Bren is going to be taking a step back, getting in a timeout, and reevaluating where exactly they messed up here, because they did mess up and they need to fix it before going forward. ACL, if they're given the momentum, it's impossible to stop them. They've demonstrated that so many times before, and Bren, they have to fix this in this next round here.
No kidding. Bren, they still have a little bit in the bank for this round, but past that, they might not any longer. And like you said, that could be the momentum that Alter Ego Celeste will use to basically crush Bren. And certainly we don't want to see that happening. We want to see a bit of a challenge. These are the top two teams of the entire scene, after all. So Bren, I mean, you definitely see, again, signs of life. They were able to get control over the map. They were able to put themselves in these really strong positions up over by Elbow, over by the nest itself. That said, though, somehow Alter Ego Celeste still able to break through all of that just through sheer frags alone. Now, slowly creeping up front, there is a bit of a spray coming in from Tunnel, and that's an Arigon again.
It is indeed, and it's going to be finally, Bren managing to pick up the pace. But this is the thing, even if they get what should be an overwhelming advantage, ACL are somehow able to, pick up on it. That's what you mentioned there, right? Quack, is this a team where, while an area might have the most when it comes to KDA action, the rest of the team is nothing to slouch at. But in the meantime, Alexi with the Blade Storm takes out Ayumi. That's going to be a 3v fire right now. But look at the position of Napsky here. Again, making her way here. Oh, the TP
she
away
saw it.
catches the edge, but still stays alive somehow. I don't understand how she managed to get away with her life. Zinni, after getting away with that, also managed to take down Iceberg here. So Alexi there for the back. The ball down to Napsky right now. Travis with the blind and flawless for Bren. These rounds are really, really going back and forth here.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit back and forth, but at the same time, you see how Bren goes in for map control. I mean,
That works.
there are players just somewhat positioned around mid wooden doors. They kind of,
That's a good
I
spot.
think, saw the presence of Inari somehow, tried to fire off some distracting shots with a classic, and then that's when Zinni peeks out from tunnel. It's so many plays like these where they are able to prevent Alter Ego Celeste from taking quick control over the middle ground, that they're able to pick them off apart once they go in for the sight hit. This time around, though, operator in hand, this could be different.
Does seem to be the case here, and it's interesting to see this because Ayumi almost very rarely does pick up the operator, but I think that they managed to, get it in hand for her so that she can really do something with it. And again, the drone is going to be deployed to try and clear out mid as well as elbow, because they know that they have habits of players playing towards that corner here, especially with Zinni. She does like to play there, but this time she's holding somewhere different. It's going to be Alexia who gets spotted out, but I think that Zinni should be able to hold that position. ACL slowly making their way up towards the elbow here. Will spot the trademark, and it's going to be Zinni as well as Alexia at the hole. But Ayumi opens things off with a bang there and gets a second as a Linarian. Ayumi really, really making a difference. The Hunter's Fury is invested, but completely off the mark as he doesn't manage to do any real damage there.
Spike planted.
Regardless, they still have a bit of a chance if they want to push up front. Taking a look at these positions, though, what is this? Like 2 players lurking in mid? One by elbow, one by the top? And then the other 2 just to anchor down the site itself. Alter Ego Celeste, there's so much potential in how they can actually defend the site. Now slowly tapping away, Navsky bursts them down, but Shirazi, along with Makasi, just comes into sight, takes all of these players down. And all of a sudden, we are tied up 4-4.
That was absolutely insane when it came to a retake there, and Iceberg, she usually catches these out, but this time though, they were ready for it and managed to take her down. 3-5 retake, 3-4 I think. It started with the Neri getting a little bit too trigger happy towards the CT there, but either way, it's gonna be Bren who should be very happy to take that round, and with an added bonus, be able to push Alter Ego into another eco here. And of course, they also managed to pick up the off, so Alexi must be feeling very happy about that. She doesn't have to invest her own trust in it. She gets one for free.
Exactly. And now making use of it to possibly get a cheeky, quick, early pick down.
Get out of my way.
Towards Shaw. Oh, spots the blades, but now kind of stuck. Swaps to the shorty and instantly tailwinds away. Aneri looking to aggress off of it, though. Wow, Blade Storms. She's looking for the head. Fortunately, though, it's not quite going to connect just yet. Goes for the fake updraft. Still has a shot, and that's the operator gone. Oh my god. Swaps back to her knife, though, and now she takes damage down to red HP. And then the rest comes in. Operator still very much online.
That's just insult to injury at that point with the resurrection for Neri. But that was an insane shot she hit, because if I'm not wrong, that was the last knife she had. In the meantime, the Navsky on her usual lurk does not work out this time. She manages to get taken up by Alexi, but look at Iceberg's position. Gets 2 shots in, and that shock dart might be even able to take the player down, but never mind. It's Neri who gets a headshot. Again, with the overkill here. It's going to be the retake that's coming in. 3v4, still very much doable with only pistols available. Zinni though, 1 bullet away, and I don't know if Mikasi has a heal either. Maybe that's why she's going to be waiting here. And it seems like Oreo is going to be opting to play on site. And Neri has to make this work with the Blade Storm, but nope. Ali is ready for her, gets the headshot, and it's going to come all down to Oreophilia. But Ali, she's going to be the hero of this round. Retrieves the operator as well, and that's a 3-game. Bren taking the lead in this matchup.
Absolutely incredible with how Bren are controlling the map right now on defense. Despite the early aggressions, despite the early losses, in fact, they're able to read how Alter Ego Celeste wants to hit the site so quickly that they are able to come back in just to retake together as a squad, just to stifle Alter Ego Celeste as they try to set up some of their post-plant positions. I mean, Neri was already down so low.
I don't know. That was the round that they really needed, and now they have 2 operators in play with the turret of force being activated for Zinni. But it's going to be, she's going to be caught there with that drone coming through and has to fall off the angle, unfortunately. The shutdown, though, is going to hit her and will force her to TP out. That's a side available as well right now. The slow does hit, but it doesn't matter because ACL have already swarmed it. And I think that Oreophilia is really, really close to a Viper's pit as well. Just 1 kill, and that's going to be an added bit of difficulty they have to face here. Zinni still trying to use this turret of force as well as his operators to do something, but it's not really working out. Oh, that updraft from Alexi's got to get quite a bit of information here, but it's not going to be enough because the other 2 players are just going to be getting off site. This retake looks really, really tough right now. And Neri and Navsky, they're the first point of contact. That flash coming through is going to enable her to get weapon. Mikasi is there for the trade right now, getting the second impact, but the trades are coming through so fast here. ACL looking incredibly strong, as are Bren. 1v1, Oreophilia left alone here. No time left either. She has to stick half, but nope. It's just going to be the jump peak coming through, buying so much time. And Oreophilia should be able to clean this up here. ACL 5.
And just like that, we are back tied up. Operator gone as well. And you can just see how coordinated some of these Bren players are in that retake. Alter Ego Celeste as well, though, and that is why these 2 teams are the top 2 teams in our FSL VCT Game Changers APAC standings right now. The pop flash coming in from Navsky. The way that they streamed in along together with Zinni and Ali and everyone else as well. This time around, though,
let's play.
it's going to be the operator once more being bought up by Alexi and now updrafted onto the top of the pyramids. Alter Ego Celeste kind of expecting it, though, so they're jump spotting this and maybe not really seeing much, but the shot hasn't been fired just yet.
Yeah, it's a
There it
bit
is.
slow and going, and it's gonna be an uncharacteristic miss from Alexi, trying to get something to the smoke, and Harry, oh, she almost makes her pay for it, but lucky for the Jet, Ali's there with the backup here. It's gonna enable her to push back up. Again, the angle being held by Alexi. Sure, the smoke was there, but she's playing ahead of it, so it might really be a huge changer. But Ayumi better with the tour de force as she gets that shot, taking her down, and that's the operator finally offline. Knows a resurrection this time to help them out. But look at the HP for the Alter Ego players here. Quack, Oreophilia, and Napsky are both so close to being taken out by 1 or 2 bullets, and it's going to make things even more difficult for them.
It really could. Which is why they're playing so safe right now. And Napsky just holding off angles in case anyone pushes out into towards halls. That's it, though. With so much time passed and 30 seconds remaining, Bren are starting to overthink things and now hovering over towards the top of B, towards the top of middle. They're starting to leave A a little bit undefended. And here comes that Viper Spit that you were talking about earlier. Nice little recon, though. Allows her to take Oreophilia down, and that's the spike carrier kill. 2 seconds left, and I don't think they can get the spike down at this point. Oh, Makasi with that last shot, too. Just at the last second, preventing Alter Ego Celeste from getting it down. 6-5. And that is just incredible timing.
Well, small blessings, Ayumi does manage to pick up the operator, get that kill, and get the hell out of there. So at least they do have that gun going into the next round. She also does have all her armor, so looking pretty healthy here. Either way though, 5-6, Alter Ego, the Eco not looking too good here. Iceberg forced on a Sheriff, Napsky on that Bulldog, but they do have the operator still with Ayumi being able to save that, so it's not over yet. Viper Spit being committed early onto the B side, it's gonna make getting into that even more harder. But lucky for Alter Ego, they're nowhere there. You see 3 people going towards the hall area here, and they might be going in for a 2-prong push with the doors.
Certainly thinking of it. Anair's already out and on towards the site, but doesn't even matter as Makasi just swaps over, gets the shot, gets traded, and now Alexi is back online. Swaps to the Blaze Storm as well, updrafts away, and this is just dangerous for Alter Ego Celeste to push through. Suddenly looking a little bit more cautious about how they want to hit sites.
They do have an area stick, and now Yumi, she's gonna open things up. That's gonna be Ali going down here, and the rotation has come through as well. They would have heard the Viper Spit going down on the B side because the Viper has moved. It's going to be Shirazi towards mid instead, but Ali gets the headshot onto Iceberg. And then Kara's just a risk for Ayumi there. Both players stuck towards main, having taken quite a bit of damage. Oreophilia, in fact, on 30 HP. And this wall as well coming through mid is going to make what seems to be already an impossible job even more difficult here. Ayumi gets one, but Oreophilia, she's ready for it. Gets a second almost, but never mind. Alexi gets the headshot, and Shirazi cleans it up. Bren take the lead, 7-5 on defense here. Looking absolutely fantastic. Wow.
It's just map control. I mean, they know exactly how to defend this. You've got Makasi, first of all. I mean, they tried to go in for that split push through the metal doors, but that said, Makasi instantly reacted to it and took down the first player coming in. And at the same time, you've got Alexi coming in to help out as well. Each and every single one of these players, they trust each other so much, and they are able to function together truly as one cohesive unit. And I think that is one of the reasons why Bren is one of the strongest teams that we have in VCT Game Changers APAC.
Oh, definitely. And this is the thing. I think they are also very close to qualifying. If not, I think that so far ACL is the only one that have qualified, but Bren is also on the cusp, but definitely in that top 3, top 4. So if they can pull off this victory against ACL, well, hello there. I'm going to Elite here. That's what they're playing for, and they're definitely showing every sign of it. The plays coming through from them have been absolutely spectacular. The timeout was what they needed to pull it back here from ACL. I think they won almost consecutively, in fact, after that. They lost one round in between, if I'm not wrong. So really looking extremely strong here.
Truly. I mean, you were talking a little bit about Alter Ego Celeste's potential to destroy with momentum as well, but Bren has completely prevented um, Alter Ego Celeste from gaining any form of momentum, and that is just incredible. I mean, I wouldn't have expected to say these words like if this were 2021. I don't know. I mean, Bren, again, just take a look at how they are positioning themselves on the defense. They are able to hide and wait once they get information. Every single player is instantly there. At the same time, they all are just watching each other's backs. There isn't a single bit of like overlap in who's watching which area, and that is just something that's really incredible to see. That said, though, 7-5, this was their defensive half. Are they gonna be able to perform that well on the attack, Zach? What do you think?
I mean, Breeze is a map where attack is definitely, I would say, a little bit easier. But again, I might be wrong. The team comps that they're running, it might not be the case for that. So it could go either way, is what I would say. I wouldn't place any bets on either team right now because, you know, in like you mentioned in 2021, ACL, it had like no competition. But right now, almost every single team on the top of the leaderboard is giving them a run for their money. In fact, we did see that last Open 3. They did win it, but they had to make a lower bracket run, which we've never seen before. And this isn't because AACL is slacking off, it's because other teams are constantly improving. And that's quite clear this time from Bren. Like, for example, one of the things that I think they've really managed to fix is the ability to trade. The trades we saw coming through in this half were just so good. There was no chance for ACL to, like, possibly, you know, get an over advantage. It was just back and forth all the time.
No kidding. And I think that's partially due in the fact that how Bren is playing around their information. As soon as one player falls, that's a bit of info. They know exactly how to refrag and retake that duel after that fact. This time around, though, how the... Okay. And Harry just holding up over by mid doors, and Zinni instantly reacts. That is something that you don't expect seeing coming in from Alter Ego Celeste now. This is Bren with control over the site. Nevsky trying to contest for this, but unfortunately not able to survive for long. Oreo Philly on the corner, able to do a little bit, but not before dropping. And here is the spike getting planted.
It does go down, and the team's a 2v2 right now. It could go either way. The recon bolts might give away a bit of information. There's at least one player playing in that angle. I don't know if they know where the other is. Because, again, oh, that jump peek almost gets Shirazi, but instead Aceberg takes so much damage here. And she's not getting a heal either. But Ayumi, though, she's gonna be in so much danger, and a simultaneous takedown. Double kill is gonna get Bren to 8.
It's just like that. I mean, 8 is potentially 9. Wow, we might actually see this is probably a little bit too early to say, but we might actually see Alter Ego Celeste lose this map against Bren. I mean, the way that they approach this pistol, it all started with a Neri dropping, but you might not say that that's the most important frag of the round. The impact ones came through cave, because they were pushing out together as a team, and just like that, now Alter Ego Celeste, a little bit of a force, I might say. We got shorties, but a Neri on the Marshall.
I mean, an area on the Marshall is never someone you should count out. And again, the read is right, because they do seem to want to hit this A side again. She's going to be playing in this corner, so unless they do clear it out, it's going to make things really rough. And oh no, that's a lot of utility dump to get her out of there. She stayed alive somehow, but that might not be enough. Takasi already getting 1-1, but before the smoke could go off, the timing is not looking good. Nafsi gets her own, but it's going to be just Iceberg and Ayumi left to the 2v3 right now. They do have those sheriffs, or at least the headhunter, to play off of here, so at least they can do the damage.
One enemy remaining.
A little bit, but here comes Ali. Ayumi with the trade on the headhunter, and she is scoped in, looking for more. Actually, lands the shot at the Zinni. We are down to the 1v1 now. Unfortunately, the time is up against Ayumi, though, and now Shirazi swings out from the other side of the pyramids, a spot which wasn't quite expected, and just like that, quite a bit of damage dealt to Bren. Regardless, it still is a 9-5, and they are looking pretty good on this offensive side.
Oh my god, I do not know how she hit this shot. Like Ayumi just it flicks onto the head of Zinnia, I believe, who was holding the angle with the sheriff. Little bit of with the headhunter, a bit of misses coming in, and she's gonna have to pay for that. 2 missed bullets. Ayumi doesn't mess around. You're not gonna get in the third. Neither way though, it's gonna be just one Spectre which gets saved, which is going to force these players to invest a bit more. Look at the economy here. They have been able to buy up some bulldogs and stuff, but it might not be enough because Alter Ego do have their full buy here. And Eri having to play on half armor because of that martial buy, but ooh, that wall timing is actually really good here. Iceberg does close it though, gets caught in a really awkward spot, and their run and gun is too good. Oh no.
No freaking way. And now with the heals as well, she jumps over, and there's the trade! Alexi still very much alive and kicking. Shirazi getting the plant down, even gaining the Viper's Pit, instantly deploys it, but she's down so low. Oh my god. Narrowly made it away alive. Now all she has to do is stay alive long enough for her team to come in to help out. And just like that. Oh my gosh, Alter Ego Celeste are in such a tough spot.
I don't know. Alter Ego, they seem to be having trouble finding their
one enemy remaining.
Oh no.
Screen down.
Bren coming through for them finally as they pull back around somehow.
I mean, it's just incredible utility usage coming in from Bren. I mean, this is exactly why they have Makasi on the Sage. Something that I really wasn't expecting. The wall towards halls were something that is able to block off so much, and at the same time, if it is getting shot at, that's information for Bren, and they use that to go in for duels. Alexi trading for Makasi as well. It's just incredibly fun to watch from these girls.
Definitely, and this time though, Ayumi does have the turret of course to work with, so it's gonna be ult versus Earth as Alexi tries to get the shot, misses, does a lot of damage, that's gonna force Ayumi to fall back. Shirazi will take her down, and it's going to be the retake that's on. The spike goes down extremely quickly here. I think they banked on Ayumi to be able to hold that angle, but the utility coming through was too much. And look at Napsky here, finds one, throws a flash, might even be able to check for the second, but no, she's just going to be falling back here. Ophelia in the meantime wrecking havoc on the site, but the resurrection, it's available, and it might be what they need to be able to prevent the spike defuse from coming down, but Brown's down fake, and Ophelia is trying to stick it, goes down and pays for it, so it's all down to just Neri here, and she can't do much as quickly it switches back around towards Bren. For a second it looked like ACO were close to taking it, but nope, not happening.
And again, I just gotta point out, we could actually see Bren take this map away from Alter Ego Celeste. This is 10-6, Zach. And just like that, Alter Ego Celeste's economy, actually not too good in this round. Bren are gonna be able to start to build up a bit of a bank as we move into the next round. That said though, I do not want to count them out because we've seen crazy thrifty wins from Alter Ego Celeste.
I mean, yeah, we saw it in the last half, literally, so definitely not something to count that Ayumi is going to be able to peek out. There's a lot of damage, but again, they have a stage, so again, it's going to be Mikasi who comes in handy here, but look at the walkthrough. They've already made their way onto the backside. The timing not right either as Iceberg tries to get it, but will be taken down by Alexi. Ayumi gets the one, the trades are quick. Shirazi, the struggle. Shirazi is able to trade over Alexi. A little bit of an awkward spot here. All down to Napsky. Left to the 1v3 here with that Bucky as well. So trademark just waiting for her to push through. And yep, that's her position. They know that she's on the flank here. And honestly, that poisoner might even be able to help her out. Maybe pick up a weapon or something. But she is only going to be having that Bucky in hand. She might just try to go for exits, I would say.
Most likely. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to pick a duel with a Bucky. Classic maybe, but then you're just dinking them in the head. And unfortunately, the Poison Cloud is a little bit too deep for her, and she won't be able to retrieve much. So, best bet, stay in the corner, maybe push up front. She doesn't have that much utility anymore, and now going in for that duel, it's the instant reaction from Zinni. And again, putting Bren up on top, 11-6, Zach. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is a little bit unexpected, but Bren, massive signs of improvement here as they look close to very convincingly. It's not even like it's close right now. 11-6 is pretty far ahead, and they look like they're gonna be able to take this map home and take us to Icebox here. And again, you need to remember that this is ACL's map pick, so I don't know. If I was ACL, I would be questioning something right now.
I would as well. I'm surprised that they haven't called a timeout yet, in fact. But still, look at how they're going for this. Just walking up front now, and Alter Ego Celeste are taking the fight to Bren. 3 players dead, and Inari is out for blood.
Yeah, I don't think Inari likes losing much, so Zinni finally managing to get another kill. 2v4 right now. We've seen ACL pull off these kind of win in unfavorable conditions, and it seems like Ali does have the site available. The problem, though, is Spike. It's stuck towards mid. Inari will spot out Zinni and give away her position as well. It's going to be Ali, though, who might have to get this kill here. But Inari, almost gets one, just get one, almost gets two. In fact, Napski having to fall back here. Ayumi will take her down, though. It's all in the hands of Zinni in this 1v3 here. Fine sees the first, doesn't really connect the shots. Does a lot of damage, though, and they know her position. She has to really pull something out from underneath to be able to take this round away from ACL. The worst part is a Spike.
Oh my god.
It's the first 1v2 right now. 30 seconds left, and she still has to deal with Napski and Ayumi. She knows that there is one towards mid, but she's just gonna walk into Napski's arms for a second. It looked like Zinni had a shot, but nope. Alter Ego pulling it back.
So many uncertainties. They could be positioned anywhere, maybe mid-doors, and that's why she was looking all over the place. But unfortunately, in the midst of that, barrel exposed, an easy shot for Ayumi to clean up. At the same time, though, Napski to clean up, excuse me. At the same time, though, I mean, these rounds are so far and few between. Alter Ego Celeste hasn't had the best time on this defensive half. They need 4, maybe 5 rounds just to turn this back on its head. And at that point, you cannot afford to make a single mistake. Ayumi now, operator, not gonna connect it. Makasi takes her down. Hunter Sphere goes through, and unfortunately, it just doesn't do what Iceberg hoped for. Oh, actually wallbanged.
Oh, Alexi has activated with that 3K. Just one left to find. It's all in the hands of Napski. And nope, she's just gonna go down to Ali. A flawless round to take Bren to match point. So fast and so clean coming in from them.
I missed the round.
I blinked, but luckily for me it was after Alexi got those 3 kills. I blinked and I missed Napski's death. But yeah, that was a round.
So fast, and they deployed 2 ultimates for that. Shirazi had her Viper's Pit, now it's gone. They got 5 rounds to spare. They're good. Meanwhile, Alter Ego Celeste, look at these guns! Sheriff, the Bucky, a Bulldog. Oh my goodness,
Yeah, it's not looking very good for them. I mean, they have come back from worse situations, but so far it seems like Bren has to really put in the work here to be able to do this. And that's the Blade Storm as well coming in from Alexi, if I'm not wrong. 2 players are suppressed. That's going to be no Viper smokes for a while. Trying to get some damage for the smoke here, but Neri is in fact going to take down the Blade Storm. That's going to be Alexi offline. A lot of shock darts as well doing some damage to her, but she still manages to stay alive somehow. And that's the thing, there's no resurrection available either yet. Mikasi still needs 2 more to get that ultimate online. In the meantime, though, Zinni trying to get Hall's control. And this is the worst part, because they've been so invested on taking this A site, they have no control anywhere else on the map. And if they try to rotate, guess who's waiting for them? It's Ayumi with the Bucky.
Still, though, that's a Bucky. No, I'm kidding. It certainly could be really dangerous, but if they can go for Hall's control, they could just bypass Ayumi outright, and at the same time maybe making use of the metal doors. But look at Inari down, just
30 seconds
defending this spot like nobody's business. She's a turtle. They cannot break through her shell. And right now, Zinni, the only hope that Bren has at closing this map out in this round, goes through the halls, opens up the doors, and Oriomphilia is here. Surprise, surprise! Just like that, Alter Ego Celeste takes 1 more round and keeps their hopes alive.
30 seconds.
Yeah, if Inari pops off like that, going into the next few rounds, they might even be able to take this to OT, and that is in fact going to, I think, trigger a timeout from I think it's from Bren, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it is gonna be from Bren. They don't want mistakes to be happen because they know what happens if you let Alter Ego get their momentum back, get into OT. They want to cut this off at the root, and it's not only going to pause their momentum. It's also going to let them discuss what exactly they want to do in this full buy. Because if I'm not wrong, if they do lose this, their economy is going to take a bit of a hit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have quite a bit. They might be able to buy like one more round, maybe two, but after that, like you're gonna be broken, and Alter Ego Celeste are gonna be the ones with the momentum, with the economy, which is why you really cannot afford to let Alter Ego Celeste find that. All they need is one more round, though. So, I mean, use the timeout, take a quick breather, and just really assess your options and think. What could Alter Ego Celeste be looking to pull off? I mean, they're the ones defending, so what we need to do is to create some kind of an opening.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you saw Inari, she went on the attack last time. The thing is, it's a very high risk, high reward strategy. But when your back is against the wall, when you have nothing to lose, that might be exactly what Alter Ego need here. Looking at what Bren wants to do this round, though, again, they want to attack this base side. But look at the position from these two other players, from Napsky and Inari. They are here to back Oreo up if they need it. And Napsky, she's going to have a handle on mid here. Very clearly, that knife is also going to give away information of at least a couple of players on the side. And Alexi, she's going to be using this wall to just back up, but might be caught with her pants down. Never mind, she gets away alive. Timing works out in her favor. And she's just going to be spraying in this corner here. If she peeks out, yep, she's going to see Oreophilia and takes her down, but Inari is there for the trade. Napsky, though, with that recon through the smoke. The Viper wall is going to get two, in fact, and it's all in the hands.
Mid.
Oh, mid. Yes, you are right indeed. And there's one more coming through. Then he gets one. Can she get more is the question. Sees the head, not able to connect here. 2v3. Spike still dropped on site.
And they still have 50 seconds left. The round is not over yet. They still could do something. And Neri trying to go in for that quick one tap, not quite connecting. And now the reposition coming through from Zinni. Alter Ego Celeste, they're considering the fact that maybe Zinni still is by mid doors. Maybe not. 30 seconds now. And they walk up front. Ayumi getting a little bit of info now. And it's all a little bit too clear. Alter Ego Celeste, they just need to land their shots, and they will. And Neri cleans it up with a triple kill. Yet another round in the bag. And starting to build up on that momentum.
And this is the thing, right? So if they do manage to win the next round, it's going to be an equal coming in for the side of Bren here. And more than that, their bank will be really healthy. And they also, look at the ultimates available. Almost everybody has it online or are very close to it. In fact, if they do manage to win this next round, they will have all of it available. And Ayumi, of course, managing to pick up that operator, save enough money for it, that's going to be a huge added W.
Oh my god. It really is a big W, but still. Good call on the Poison Cloud just to block off mid doors, and now they have a little bit, some semblance of mid control. Not all that much though, because if you take a look at your mini-map, Iceberg is looking down the tunnels along with Ayumi. There's that first shot. All of a sudden, the B site might not be the safest place to go. And there's the second frag. The res comes in as well, but now, can they actually hold on to it? Two players gone. And they're rotating all the way to the other side.
It's not a bad call because the A side is almost completely empty here, but Oreophilia, she's gonna go break that trade for it, cause a little bit of confusion as to where exactly she is right now, and she's gonna be anchoring A main here, unless they clear it or at least, get control of either A main or CT. It's gonna be really, really rough. And look at her position here. Oh no! Zinni takes her down, and that's gonna be the A side open, and Neri is there to watch the cross though, but they seem to be ready for it. 30 seconds left. Neri gets one, doesn't even take any damage, has to dash online again. Remains to be seen.
Oh my god!
No, that shot. If you blink, you missed it, and that's going to be 3 kills for Alter Ego to get their 10th round, and looking increasingly likely to take this to an overtime here, Clark.
Who is that? Who is that? How? How do you do such a thing? Oh my god. Her name is Odella Abraham, and everyone should memorize that because she makes these plays. She watches an angle and taps 3 heads, 3 bullets, 3 kills, And all of a sudden, Alter Ego Celeste 2 rounds away from turning this into overtime. Potentially, I mean, they're gonna... Bren doesn't have money this round. I don't know, Zach. What is going on?
They do have the tour de force though, so if ECL is a bit careless, they're gonna have to pay for it. But in the meantime, they're gonna be working on getting that Hall's control. And again, look at the rotations from AECL, so clean. They know that the orb was taken, they know that there's an operator probably watching this angle, and now they know the position of at least one player. Recon possibly giving information as to more, but Victress takes down a Neri here. That is a very, very important kill. And in fact, the wall will come through as well to let them cross, but nope, Iceberg gets sprayed through the smoke here. They have to go back to the spike. And Jirachi manages to walk away with it though, which is pretty interesting. 3v5, 3v4 right now, and it looks quite promising in fact for the side of Alter Ego after the kill.
And unfortunately, at this time, you just can't quite duel against the Alter Ego Celeste players. I mean, look at this coming in from Oriophilia. Blocking off AK like it's nobody's business. You could try to push up front, you could try to duel against her, but she's just gonna spray you down eventually. Unless you can land some majestic, miraculous martial headshot, but it's not gonna be this round. 12 to 11 now. One more round, Zach.
One more, and we're heading into OT, and after that, I don't fancy the Bren players' mentality because being taken from, what was it, 11-6 to overtime, it's not very ideal for them. And this is their last chance because they don't have the full buy, but you need to consider the ultimates for AECL. They are 3 available and 2 just 1 or 3 away from getting it. On the opposite side, there's nothing there. So especially this Victress from Oriophilia has the potential to completely shut down one particular side. That's going to be the A side off limits if I'm not wrong, and the B side is going to be Ayumi with the tour de force. So where do you go from here? Where do you head?
Here.
Police tape set up, cordoned off. You have to think about your other options. And you need to disable some of these weapons, some of these positions that the Alter Ego Celeste players are perched up on. I mean, look at this from Ayumi. Maybe if you come in through B main, but you're gonna have to be so careful, so coordinated about this that Ayumi is overwhelmed. Unfortunately, no. They're going 1 by 1, and there are the 2 headshots that Alter Ego Celeste were looking for. A tag as well. They're stuck in this spot.
Toxin screen down.
Maker's dropped as well. Jirachi gets 1, but now get the second. Ayumi with that tour de force, with that 4K. It's gonna be overtime. And ACL moving away yet again. They are the reigning queens. APAC with that comeback here. Absolutely fantastic coming in from them. Bren, they just lost the momentum now, and they have to somehow dig back in.
Yeah, Ayumi just says, you can hide on top of that pillar. I could do it too, Zinni. Like, you're not that special. I can frag out as well if I want, and I can even push this game into overtime. Now, Tech Pause coming out, and you just have to wonder how strong, how capable, how do they even do it, these Alter Ego Celeste players?
I don't know at this point, but they seem like they're very likely to do it because things that have worked out for them so far, looking at the attack here, is when they were able to have at least one player, finding some kind of chink, whether it's through mid, whether it's through halls, wherever it is. That is where they've managed to find the most success here because they've been able to catch it off guard, especially towards the B side, because it seems like Bren has a tendency to sort of over-rotate towards the A side once quite a bit of noise is made. So that just lets Napski, or I think the other one was Iceberg, just walk into B. And once they have the B side and they have the potential to play post-comp, it's just so much more easier for them.
That is why I think coming into overtime now, it is so important, or at the very least, whoever wins that first attacking side, you talked about it, the post-plant positions, even just being able to find that initial opening, that will dictate the rest of the flow for the remainder of these overtime rounds. If Alter Ego Celeste wins it, who knows? We might actually see a 14-12, given the way that they've been defending so far.
It is a possibility, and I don't know, but at this point, Bren, they have to feel the pressure here. They've been beaten, brutalized, and I don't know. After that comeback from ACL, they have to figure out how exactly they can patch the holes here because they did do very well in defense, like you mentioned at least initially. They can win it and take the if they can take it forward as well, they might be able to get the 14th goal instead. But I'm not sure. I feel like we're in for multiple overtimes. I don't know. I have a feeling about it.
It's I don't know. My heart already leapt out of my throat in that last round. I can't do this. I mean, look at these numbers from these girls. Just even the assists coming in from Makasi, 16. Even Iceberg, who's supporting the heck out of her team as well. It's just such incredible performances from both sides that you have to wonder. I mean, are we in the grand final? Are we even? This is not even upper bracket finals right now. This is just like round two, and it's already so intense.
I mean, it feels like a final. I'll tell you that. Last time we did see these two teams were in the final, and I feel like whoever does get pushed to the lower bracket, odds are that we're going to be seeing them in the final yet again. But, during this technical pause here, it might give them a little bit of time to reflect and consider what exactly they want to do here. Because it's been very back and forth, right? Except for, of course, the final stretch where UCO won, was it 4 rounds in a row to take us to overtime? Apart from that, this map has mostly been back and forth, so it looks a little bit rough, I would say, for both sides because neither is able to find a strategy that works because either the other side is so quick to adapt and fix it, or it's just not, continuously. They're not able to like really work on it.
Hmm. It's definitely tough to find a way to work on things to actually adapt on the fly, especially when you're playing against teams of such calibers at this level. They're gonna have to dig deep. I mean, it comes down to how you really play around this, and especially in overtime, I think this is where teams are a little bit more prone to, I don't know, potentially making more mistakes. But wow, let's just listen to that for a second. Like some waves. This is like ASMR right now.
Yeah, extremely calming and relaxing. A little bit of break for both these teams, and for us as well. Because I think after
That's
watching
cool.
the last few rounds, I think we definitely need. The map is called breeze, but so far neither team seems to be having a breeze. That's my takeaway
This
from it. Let's soak in the sun for a bit. Relax at the
let's
beach.
soak in the sun.
Relax at the beach.
This is Caster ASMR. Please don't hate us. That's just like the thanker observer for giving us these moments. Thank you very much, Darian.
Yeah,
But of course,
definitely. Very
then
pleasant.
again, I mean, oh my goodness, this is just breeze. We still have icebox, and if I'm not wrong, fracture
Yeah, yeah.
potentially, yeah, fracture left to go, and I just have no idea how those maps are going to play out. Of course, Bren wants to be the team to take this overtime so that they can go into their own map pick with a bit of a high. I mean, if they do that, they definitely stand a chance at potentially knocking Alter Ego Celeste off and down into the lower bracket. Wouldn't that be a statement?
Definitely would, and it's been done before. It's not impossible. It's just unlikely. If I had a quarter for every time it happened before, it would be one quarter, which is not much, but it's still something. So definitely something that is possible. It seems like it's probable as well because the way Bren has been playing, they've been doing a fantastic job. If you look at the scoreboard, for example, this is what I'm talking about again. It's a team effort. You rarely see this from most of their teams, but Bren, it's almost always equal. Like even if a player doesn't have like the same amount of kills first, it's always somebody sticking up. But I think that it's really interesting to see how this team has managed to like work their way up because I think that they got picked up by Bren just for this year, right? So they've been absolutely doing an amazing job, I would say.
All right. Well, I'm just getting word now that some of the Bren players are experiencing technical issues, maybe some connection issues. So it's really unfortunate. We're gonna just trying to think about this. I guess our league ops will settle whatever disputes going on, and pretty soon we'll be back into the game. I mean, Alter Ego Celeste still, I mean, such an incredible performance. They were lagging behind, but then they came back.
Yeah, definitely. Come back soon so you can catch the overtime with us. We'll be right back. We'll be heading into a break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are the dynamic duo of Quack and Sack on the desk, and we have a surprise for you. I think that Bren, like we mentioned, was having some connectivity difficulties, and because of that, we are going to be rolling it back, so we're no longer heading into overtime yet. There still is a possibility, don't worry. We are going to be back at 12:11 as we head back into map number 1, Breeze, between Alter Ego and Bren here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that's what our tournament admins, what our tournament operators say, like that's what we got to follow. I mean, it probably is that, it's just fair that they actually did suffer quite a bit of lag in that round. We move on. That said, though, I don't know how useful the rollback's going to be. Because if you recall from that last round, Bren did not have the best buys. So, I don't know how they could best play from that, but I certainly do hope that they're not suffering any more connectivity issues because, considering the fact that they could still go into overtime, they're going to need to play as well as they can if they are trying to, win this map away from Alter Ego Celeste. Overtime, 12-12, and then you suffer a lag. Like, oh gosh, I just call up your ISP and start scolding and flaming them. Actually, don't do that. Please don't.
I mean, in India, you kind of have to do that because otherwise they just don't take your calls. No, I'm kidding. Don't
really?
Them, but no, you'll have to send them like 20 emails and register like 3 complaints before they resolve it. Most ISPs, it's kind of annoying. But either way, I think Singapore does customer service just a bit better, so it should be okay.
Probably. There was like for a while when 4.08 or something came out, like people were suffering packet loss issues, and it was just so annoying. Like many players were complaining about it on Twitter. But that said, it still is something that can be fixed, and I believe the Bren players should be ready for this. Moving forward, though, I mean, let's just theorycrat for a second. If it does go to 12-12 overtime, or at the very least, no, hang on. If it is 11-12, and Bren has what? Like, they could afford a Marshall, Sheriff, maybe a Bucky. What do they need in order to win that round against Alter Ego Celeste?
Actually, I think that they ecoed at 11.
11?
Yeah. So they have a full buy. The problem is with the ultimates because they have absolutely nothing in the bag. But Alter Ego, I think they won the last round entirely off of ultimates, more or less. They did. You did see the tour de force come into action.
Ayumi was like on top of the tower. Yeah.
Yeah. She got 4 kills and Eric cleaned it up with the blade storm. So they have at least 3 ultimates in the bag. They also have Oreophilia's Viper Spits. So I think last time she just completely closed off A side. No customers being served here. Please move on to the end of the line. And it was just Ayumi towards the B side with the tour de force. Oreophilia holding off A with the Viper Spit, and towards mid it was an area with the Blaze Storm. So where do you go when you have 3 strong ultimates being pointed in your face? That's what Bren gets to go up yet again to make it, if they manage to pull it off somehow, they will take this map. But it seems very likely that with that firepower, it's still very possible that Alter Ego do take this to overtime.
That's very much true. I mean, the only way that I could see Bren actually maybe taking a win in that last round is if they somehow just play at such a slow pace that Alter Ego Celeste just has no idea what to expect. And if you can surprise them that way and maybe take out some of these players all of a sudden, 1 or 2 of them drop, they don't have their ultimates, you make it a little bit easier for you to go through. That said, though, that means that you can't really rely on trades any longer. Like, if you go in for a trade, you lose 1 player, that's momentum in the hands of Alter Ego Celeste, especially when they have their ultimates. No, you can't give that to them. And at the same time, moving on into overtime, I mean, how are you going to actually defend against a team like Alter Ego Celeste? I mean, they made it work. They did, but it was still 7-5. That's still really close.
Yeah, I think after Alter Ego, I don't know. I think Inari just went and got some coffee or something because after that, she was just on point there, helping bring this to overtime. So definitely, they need to watch out. Honestly, this rollback might help Bren quite a bit because it's going to be a bit of a break. And when we left them last, it seemed like Alter Ego, they were just completely warmed up and informed. And after this break, they have to find that momentum again. This has shattered their momentum. So it was an unfortunate tech pause, but it still helps out both of these teams because there's no more momentum. It comes down to who can find their footing the faster. And at least on Breeze, it seemed to be Bren who had the advantage there. It took Alter Ego some time to be able to mount a comeback. So definitely, it seems like that's what it's gonna come down to, and of course, how Bren managed to prevent this from going into overtime if that's possible, because they really
If
don't want to let it get there.
if that's possible.
If that's possible, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think Alter Ego's ever lost on overtime.
Actually, you might be right. You might actually be right. I don't know. Against X10, maybe at some point, but X10 aren't here this time. I don't know what's going on. Alter Ego Celeste, they certainly are primed to be the ones to run this over if it does go into overtime. I mean, we saw how crazy they were, especially in that last round before we went to the break. So, like you said, here we are, full momentum reset, full reset on both sides. I honestly do think that Bren, they still could maybe win that last round, but it has to be like so many of these conditions have to be met. You know, they need to be able to take down some players. They need to have the numbers advantage. They need to have strong positions. It's just so many things on the checklist that it actually does seem tough.
Yeah, I think one of the executes they haven't really tried so far seems to. I'm sorry, one of the areas that Alter Ego hasn't really attacked so far. I'm sorry, Bren hasn't really tried so far against is going to be towards mid. And to be fair, it's been very difficult to hit mid because of the operator as well as the rest of the utility that
That's
they're
true.
using. But nevertheless, it might catch Alter Ego by surprise there. And it just takes one round for them to win. They can somehow pull this off. It might be what they need because so far they've been shut down at A main and B main. So mid and halls are the ways to go here. Perhaps an execute through double doors might help them out here, especially if it seems like Warrior Affiliate's going to shut down A main again. That's going to leave the rest of the players playing towards mid and B instead, and double doors might be vulnerable.
You're onto something. I actually do think that that's a very possible play. I mean, one of those rounds that we saw Bren actually win on the attacking side was when they went into halls, when they had Mikasi there at the wall, you had Alexi there to back Mikasi up, and it just creates so much chaos because if you were defending against such a play and your opponents are coming in from cave, they're coming in from double doors, they're coming in from metal doors, you're just so confused. Like, where do I look? And if the timing of each and every single one of these entries are so precise that it comes down to like simultaneous chop chop, you might actually be able to catch some of these Alter Ego Celeste players off guard. So that could be an opening for these Brent girls to take.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one more thing we just see was Inari didn't have a rifle last round. She had the Blade Storm and the Operators. So if they are able to catch her off guard, that's going to be Inari off the list. And definitely that's a huge kill coming in for Bren here. But again, all of this is just speculation and, like you mentioned, theory crafting. So we are going to have to wait for the match to start before we head in. There's a little bit of a technical pause. We're really sorry for the delays here as you have
Caster,
to listen
start
to
game.
us. Yeah, it's not in our hands. Yeah, wait, let me just find the button. I must have misplaced it. I don't know
Where
it
is it? I don't have one.
Sorry, guys. So,
Nope.
yeah,
All right,
here's-
it's not working. But yeah, I mean, it's just some of these players are still experiencing connection issues. So restarting internet, we gotta do what we gotta do. You know, call out the ISPs. That said, again, this is just theory crafting, and I do think that Alter Ego Celeste, they are that strong. There is a very good chance that they will be the ones to push this into overtime, and if they do, from their point of view, when they are into overtime, they will be the ones on the attacking side. How do you think they could actually just completely sweep Bren Esports Victress off their feet? I mean, they would be the ones defending, and then Alter Ego Celeste attacking. I don't know. Binary.
I can't do the math here because so far it comes down to just at least for Alter Ego, the most successful rounds they've had were from lurking players who caught them off guard. Like one of the rounds which they won, like I think it was round 5 or something, where they won like a 2v4. It was off the bat of an area just casually strolling into B main. No cares in the world. Finds one, finds two, and then manages to just get the round off of that because that was beautiful coordination coming in from her and her teammate there.
Or feeling, yeah.
Yeah, any kind of play like that. We saw a similar one as well from Napski. There wasn't as much, single player action. It was more of the rest of the team winning out in an unfavorable situation. But that's the thing that Alter Ego seems to excel at. Even if they lose one of their players, they manage to take the weight on the rest of the team's shoulders and they somehow pull it off. And that's exactly what Bren has to try and shut down here, because you're not dealing with just one snake here. If I can go for a metaphor, you're dealing with a multi-headed Hydra, and if you cut one off, it's gonna be
Yeah.
2 more cropping up, and it's a really hard monster to battle. Bren are doing a fantastic job of it so far, but can they continue? That's the question.
That is the question. I mean, Hail Hydra? No, I don't think that's the. I mean, you're gonna need to. That's why I was talking about this. The potential play of hitting the A site. You know, you want to cut off the heads, but you need to do that at the same time, right? If you cut off one and then you go for like that 1-by-1 sort of approach, that's when Alter Ego Celeste could start trading. They have their ultimates. They could do so much. But if you do it together at the very same time, it's really difficult. But they could. Again, it just comes down to those, conditions that have to be met. So I think the players are getting ready right now. We might just be able to get back into the game. Again, the score, 12-11. Bren Esports, surprisingly not quite able to close it out just yet. And Alter Ego Celeste might be able to push this into overtime as well. I mean, they got 3 ultimates. I really have no idea how to predict this one because both teams are so good.
Definitely, they've been putting up an incredible performance, and the thing to remember here is that this is Alter Ego's map pick, and they seem pretty close to losing. I mean, they're not close to losing, but they are, they have been given quite a run for their money. In fact, they are lagging behind by a point, so definitely a really good chance for Bren. We are finally back with the game, though. Thank you for sticking with us, and putting up with our stuff here. Either way, 10 seconds left. It's going to be, ACL, who are on the attack again, have to try and close. I'm sorry, on the defense again, have to try and close it out. And this time, Bren has swapped strats. They are going to go for the B side instead. Right, Yumi taking it aggressively towards the elbow angle here. The drone will catch out Alexi. Iceberg could be falling back, holding, waiting.
Oh. My god, they're nervous. That was a tailwind that was expended just because the recon drone actually spotted you. They're split up all across the map as well, though. Bren playing very, very carefully, but the one to look out for is definitely a Yumi with her presence towards mid. Oh, and there is that first to fall.
They called it, and it's going to be 3 operators available. In fact, Oriophilia also has a rifle to work with on top of everything else here, but she's going to be taken down, not able to get out on time, and that's going to be City taking down Iceberg as well. 3v4, Spike will be going down, and Natsuki, she does almost have another one. Harry gets one, gets taken down though. Ayumi is there for the trade, and it's going to be a 2v2 right now. Natsuki, 1 away from the null command. Both players, in fact, Shirazi, if she can somehow get one, she'll be able to get that Viper's crit, which might make all the difference here. A little bit of a pincer coming in. Nope. Ayumi gets the headshot. It's all down. The Viper to prevent this from heading to overtime, but it's not happening. Natsuki will be able to get the defuse, and we are again headed to overtime.
Yeah, they might have overstayed their welcome on the site. I mean, looking to go for that Viper's Pit certainly could be really useful, but at the same time, if you deployed it, you would be stuck in that animation. And it's also just tough. They might have had a better chance if maybe they went into cave, but that said, they tried to do what they could. They stood on their side, they planted their feet firmly into the ground, and even then, Nabsky, Ayumi, they were able to take them all down. And here we are. This is that overtime round now. There's a little bit of a glitch in the score on the top. But yeah, overtime, and of course, Alter Ego Celeste are the ones on the attacking side.
Yeah, this glitch is a little bit unfortunate here, especially considering that it's going to start yet again. I think that we will be heading back into a small break while we try to fix this. Either way, I think they're just going to be going for it here with whatever bias they have. I think that the scoreboard hasn't been fixed yet. It's still overtime working fine. Yeah, so we're back to normal. Thank you. So it seems like it's going to be Neri who gets the first pick, but Alexi is there for the trade, trying to stay alive, but Napsky takes her down here. It's going to be 12-12 on the board. Ayumi gets another, and things are not looking very good right now for the side of Bren. They've lost so much and gained so little. Spike will be able to go down, but Shirazi walks into Navsky's waiting embrace. All down to just Ali here in this 1v3 left to clutch out, and I'm not sure if he can do much.
Out of charges.
Yeah, she's gonna have to take down 3 players and defuse the spike. The recon does get a little bit, so she knows there is a player up over by the pyramids, but still, this toxic screen, it's only going to be up for a few more seconds, but that is so much info just because Ayumi positioned up over by the stairs. That's the first round gone. Alter Ego Celeste now. On the defense, they just might be able to turn this around on its head.
It almost gives the feeling of a bunch of dominoes falling, because what is the 6th consecutive round that ACL has taken to be able to bring us to overtime, and now they have the lead here, looking to close out their map pick. Inari on the operator as well, which is pretty interesting to see. Usually you see it from Ayumi, but nope, Inari is going to be the one to take lead instead. And again, they seem to want to watch that mid angle extremely keenly. And it's a good read as well, because he's going to be dashing into her face. And let's see, though, will be taking her down with that aggression. Spam trying to catch it though, but Napsy getting the trade, goes for the reload at the wrong time though. 3v3 yet again, Oreophilia tags up as well. Alexi, 3 kills already, pulls out the blades to boot, and it seems like the retake is still very much doable, but gonna be much more hard. All it takes is one careless mistake from any of these players, and it's gonna be things equalized yet again. The drone, after the nerf, not really gonna be catching anybody, and they're all gonna be playing offside. The recon coming through as well, doesn't really spot Alexi, and she might be able to really but no, she gets checked. Ayumi, too wary for it, is gonna take her down at 2v2 yet again. This time though, it's Alter Ego who have to find the defuse.
What is look at Makasi's positioning. This is so cheeky right now. The wall, one panel's gone, and Ali goes in for a strafe peek. Makasi as well. Oh, Ayumi had no idea what hit her, and all of a sudden we're going to OT2.
OT number 2. I called it. When you have 2 teams this strong and involved, you're not gonna just stop at 1 OT, and it does seem to be the case again. Ayumi, Inari going in for the operator at the worst possible time here, and of course, yeah, Alexi really capitalizing on it to get the 3K. But yeah, because initially when I saw it, I thought she was behind, like towards in cave with their other teammates.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the wall until you mentioned it, Quack. That is indeed extremely cheeky, bro.
And that's just the things that you can do with Sage. This time, very standard wall, but she's going to use the elevated position to try to find an opening pick, and she does! Oh! Numbers advantage now. So Bren, if they want to trade from this point out, they could. But take a look at the minimap. Where's Navsky? All the way streaming up towards elbow? Oh, she walks into Zinni. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think Bren at this point expected, there's always going to be one person towards the B side. Let's not give it to them for free. And with Mikasi being able to get the pick and hold on to A, it leaves more players towards the B and elbow area to be able to take them down. There he is going to be spotted out, forced to use the dash to fall back. And it is going to be them still waiting outside the A side. Sure, they have the Viper wall available still, but it will go down, and they have to wait for it to recharge before they can try to make any kind of headway back into the side. And the worst part is, Ali has a recon back, so even if they try to use the walls across, they still might be caught off guard.
And that's just so dangerous. They're still trying to aggress off of the toxic screen though, but the timing on the recon bolt just catches them at the worst possible spot. Now they make their way onto site, but at 30 seconds remaining, they need these frags, they need control over the site, they can't get the spike down, and Bren are just decimating them one by one. Oreophilia left, still able to find 2 headshots, pops the Viper's pit, and tucks herself away into the corner. Alexi pushes up front. A single spray through it, and she could be dead. Picks up the spike though, swaps back around, gets Alexi down, but Shirazi reacts in time. For Ren, they take that first round in OT2.
I genuinely feel if Oreophilia had a little bit more time, she could have pulled off that 1v5, because that was so clean coming in from her. 30 HP left, 1v2 Viper spin. If she had some more time, she might have been able to make a play with the spike. But nevertheless, that is a fantastic round coming in from Bren there. Those 2 initial picks, the read from them to take out Navsky on the lurk, and also the very cheeky play coming in. It might not be a grim ball, but it's certainly a grim ball for the side of ACL as they lose Ayumi there. Yep, it seems like they want to go very, very straightforward towards the B side here. Yumi, though, she's the anchor. Gets one, but gets traded out. And it's Mikasi who gets the kill, so if she can get this orb and this plant down, she might be able to even get the resurrection online. If they can, of course. Seems like the wall has been instantly broken, making things so much more difficult.
Whoa, Alexi. Certainly is difficult, but they're still going to try. Spike already delivered onto site. Now it gets planted. And Neri trying to find some kind of a peek. But she just can't quite connect it because they're playing so defensively. Look at this. Oh my god, the sudden peaks. And this could be it. One player left, and that's going to be Iceberg. She's getting flanked as well. And off OT2. Bren Esports Victress. 15-13. They turn this around on its head. They actually take this map pick away from Alter Ego Celeste.
That was a fight that went down into the trenches, tooth and nail. Every single round pulls back and forth. There was a tug of war between these teams. But finally, Bren, after that initial fantastic start, 11-6 to 15-13, they pulled it off, but it wasn't easy. This is good for them, though, because this was, like you mentioned, the ACO's pick, and we are going to be heading into Icebox next. Of course, Icebox is no stranger to any of these maps, including Icebox, but nevertheless, Bren, they should be feeling very pleased with themselves, and hopefully all their internet issues are fixed, because, you know, Icebox, it's not very forgiving.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, with all the post-plant setups that you could go for, the lineups are going to be so important. Agent composition is something that we will be looking out for in a bit, but coming back into Breeze, just take a look at these numbers. We went to OT2, and every single one of these players on both teams, both sides, just really gave us quite the show.
That is for sure. Like, especially Alexi really keyed in towards the next few rounds, and she did an absolutely fantastic job, you know, getting those first picks and really being aggressive towards the entry. You saw her in that first overtime getting that 3K, you know, buying so much time because, you know, when she's pushed that heap, you have to use utility to clear out those ankles and helping her team win. And of course, the rest of the team as well deserves so much credit. ACL, they're not used to this. They're used to 2-0ing and bulldozing through the brackets. But, you know, these last few opens, they have not been having a very easy time.
Absolutely. And even just looking at some of these numbers, so many rounds were won because of frag wins. That's how quick, that's how sharp these players are. You might be able to stream on towards a site, but not very often, you don't really get the chance to actually get it planted just because they are already there preventing you, contesting against you. I mean, even down to that last round, Alter Ego Celeste were trying to really go in for a bit of a retake, trying to find some kind of a peak, but Bren just shut that down completely. And if that's how they will continue to play over onto Icebox, we might just see a 2-0, Zach.
It's quite a possibility. It is their map pick, and so far Bren have proven that they're definitely able to put in the work, put in the research to try and steal the floor away from under ACL on their own map pick. So of course they would have put at least that much research into their map pick when it comes to both individual strategies for their own players as well as counter strategies here. So the second map is going to be Icebox, and like we mentioned, it's a map that Bren is actually quite decent on. To be fair, though, it's not a map that's like that ACL's any slouch on either. So anyway, before we head into map number 2, we're going to be heading into a short break. So stay tuned. I'm Zach. With me here is Quack, and we are here for Open 4 match number 2.
Hello, folks, and welcome back again. VCT Game Changers APAC, and now up into the upper brackets after that first map won 15 to 13. 15 to 13, and Bren Esports Victress actually steal it away from Alter Ego Celeste on their own map pick. We move forward into Icebox now, which is Bren's map pick. I'm not quite sure how this next game is going to go, but maybe you can, Zach.
I mean, I can't tell either. I think, like we looked it up. There is one statistic so far for this open, which is that Alter Ego is undefeated on Icebox. But to be fair, they only had like one matchup before, and the other ones were in the group stages. So not really much you can tell from there. You never know, and this is Brent's pick. That's the thing. So they obviously have some kind of battle plan coming into mind. If you look at their comps that they've run so far, for Bren, it's actually been pretty surprising because they're one of those teams that likes to run the double duelist there. You've seen them take up a Jet and Arena, a Raze and Arena, Jet and a Raze, all kinds of combos coming in from these three. And apart from that, I think that the only Sentinel that they've run so far is, apart from Sage, it's been Chamber. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting. A lot of the time, they just don't run any kinds of backstab watcher here.
Never quite know, though. I do think there might be a potential for this to be slightly different, just because the last times that Bren actually played on these maps and they had that Reyna player, that was Torley, their sixth player, who usually subs in onto Icebox. This time around, I'm not sure if Torley's present. They actually might be sticking their same lineup that they had from Breeze. So if that is the case, we might see a completely new agent lineup. And in that case, Alter Ego Celeste, I mean, they have to respect the fact that this is Brent's map pick. Yeah, you have 100% win rate. That is awesome. I bow down to you. Alter Ego Celeste are our Valorant VCT Game Changers APAC overlords. We worship them. We worship them. But still, Bren are challengers. They just won a map against them. This is now their map pick. There has to be a reason why they picked it. And I think Alter Ego Celeste might be in for a bit of a surprise.
I hope they are, because I'm certainly eagerly anticipating how this is going to go. And like you mentioned, if they do stick to their existing roster and players here, I don't know if we'll see something exactly the same. What I am looking forward to seeing is seeing a little bit more initiator play coming through. We did see the KO last time, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Sky or even a Fade. Maybe that's the surprise they have planned for us, because I know it's unlikely, but I would love to see a Fade on this map.
Yeah, I haven't really seen that much, but still, I'm not entirely sure. Just because Torley was that Reyna player, this time around we got Shirazi, Ali, Zinni, Alexi. I mean, they could Makasi as well, who probably would go with the Sage. I'm assuming they might just change things up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe like a Chamber comes in all of a sudden. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like a double Sentinel instead of a double Initiator. We're certainly hoping for that Fade, but against Alter Ego Celeste, I'm just not entirely sure how effective that's going to be. And at the same time, we haven't even talked about how Alter Ego Celeste might play on this map. Will Inari go for something absurd like a Neon all of a sudden? That's entirely possible too. Because they've already qualified, you know?
Again, it all depends about who brings about the unexpected play that the opponents can't really anticipate. So it's going to be a little bit rough. It's going to come down to who can read each other better. And both these teams are doing a really, really good job going into the last game there. We saw it on Breeze, the adaptations coming in, whether it was moving players around, whether it was changing attack plans, all of it was really, really good. It's just that at the end of the day, Bren did it just a little bit better, and that's why they won 15-13. So it remains to be seen if they can do the same on Icebox. And of course, you really don't want to get into a situation where we let one team get the momentum, and I think that almost happened last time, where ACL did have, I think, 5-6 rounds going in straight, but sadly for them, I don't know. Maybe I think that possibly it might have not just been Bren's excellent plays, but also that little bit of timeout that we saw. Not to take any kind of credit away, of course, but when your momentum breaks, it's just really hard to get back into mindset.
I have to agree. I do think that is a potential factor into why Alter Ego Celeste kind of faltered off a little bit in that overtime. There is that chance. But that said, we're going into a completely new map now. And once more, Alter Ego Celeste, maybe they'll take a little bit to get warmed up. Maybe they'll rev up a little bit as well. But that said, when it comes down to this, Bren, to me, they strike me as a team that doesn't pick maps on any just any whimsical nature. They actually have plans in mind. I mean, you see how they play on Breeze. Despite it being a map that wasn't their pick, they still had so many incredible plays with like the purposeful Sage. It's not something that you see very often, and they really show you how to make it work with the walls towards halls. That rhymed unintentionally. But yeah, it's something that you have to look out for, which is why, honestly, I don't expect them to pick Reyna. I would be surprised if they did. But if they did, maybe they have a reason for it. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Still, though, Alter Ego Celeste, they played Icebox against Aresta yesterday. They are definitely a little bit more warmed up to this map. They're definitely a little bit more practice on this one. I mean, you were the one casting that game. We saw a Neri getting that crazy ace with the Blade Storm swapping weapons. That could happen again.
It was a 4K to my eternal sadness, but yeah, 2 shots with the Sheriffs, 2 with the Blade Storm. Almost pulls out the Sheriff again in time to get that 5th kill. But yeah, I mean, we might see her get an ace today. Who knows? It's an Neri. Getting an ace for her is probably a daily thing. Either way, though, we're going to be heading into our second map for the day, Icebox, really soon. And I hope we get to Agent Select pretty soon, because I'm really excited to see what both these teams have up their sleeves as we head into it. And, you know, when we talk about Icebox as a map itself, there's so much, like, you know, so many ways the defense could, there are only so many ways the defense could play in so many positions. The thing is, it's really hard to retake Icebox, especially that ace site. Sure, if you have enough utility left, you might be able to pull it off. You're methodical enough about it, but overall, it's just one of those maps where unless you have a lot of practice playing retakes, you don't want to, because you have to deal with the potential for lineups. There are so many more angles you have to clear out again when you're retaking. It just makes life really rough.
That is absolutely true. I mean, you're going to need some form of utility to aid you in that retake. And most teams going for the flashless composition on this map, it's something that might just make it a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to go through just... like, instead of shock and awe, it's just awe. You're just going to have to just break through the site through sheer will. Maybe find some kind of a pick and carefully make your way through, because you don't really have that coordinated push anymore. Rafters, screens, those are just 2 places that you can go in from if it's the A site. But that said, like we were discussing, this is Bren Esports Victress without Twirly, so no Reyna. In fact, they're going for that double Sentinel setup. Zinni on the Chamber, as we've seen her on Breeze. That's going to be something that's going to that you want to keep your eyes out for. Zinni versus Ayumi, both of them were so incredibly sharp in that previous map, and they were putting up crazy numbers. I want to see if they can do it again.
Yeah, definitely. Crazy. And Eri and Ayumi always put up crazy numbers. I can't think of a time when the duo hasn't been at top of the leaderboard there. But, you know, what was really nice to see last game was everybody was up there on the leaderboard. If you compare the ACS, it was almost like a very smooth slope if you were to map it out on a chart. Like, you had like the 270s, 260s, 240. I think the lowest was around 170 or 180. So definitely some spectacular plays coming in, and it remains to be seen if the same kind of potential can be maintained here for Bren, because they must be coasting off that victory. And of course, they have gone in for a mirror composition as well. So seeing that they are on defense, a double sentinel might definitely come into handy, especially when you consider the Sage and the fact that she hasn't invested her wall at all towards mid.
Well, there's the wall now, but this is Alexi with a Frenzy, which is something a little bit interesting to me. She goes in for a bit of a crouch spray, but doesn't matter because Orofil is that sharp. Tries to go back in for it, and these are trades coming through with Bren Esports Victress trying to go in for that B site control. They don't really have it yet, though. And Neri now coming outside of Kitchen. And all of a sudden, 3 simultaneous kills. Where did that come from? Oh my god.
I think like you, I was very focused on Neri sneaking up on Zini there. But in the meantime, there seems to be a nice little pincer movement towards the B side. They didn't even get the flank, so that's just even worse because they're not gonna be having that extra money in their pocket. AC will take the pistol and the first shot, and based off that, they're gonna be able to buy up as well. They do have the sectors, and of course, an area of the Marshall. When you're going up against people without armor, it's just very easy. You shoot them wherever, they're gonna die. Definitely trying to pick up plays from up towards scratch. Or Ophelia already getting that orb in hand, and the wall will prevent them from pushing it. Oh no! That's gonna be Lexi caught off guard with that little crouch peek from Ophelia there.
It's just absurd movement. Who crouch peeks and just stands up at the last second too, and now because of that one frag, Ayumi has been allowed to push up front. It's just so many of these different moving parts at play that Bren Esports Victress, it feels like they're playing into Alter Ego Celeste's plans. They might have taken down the Viper, but still, you've got Ayumi on the other side with the Marshall, and she is hunting for that head. Gets it midair as well. No armor. Easy shot into the body. Alter Ego Celeste, they take that 2-0.
Yeah, luckily she wasn't able to pick up that Spectre, which is a little bit more expensive, but all's good. It's gonna be Ayumi who picks up a Judge instead after falling last shot. And it was a Neri, in fact, who managed to close it out with those 2 kills. And really nice Marshall shots, very cheeky coming in from her. Nafsky, unfortunately, going down, but all's good. It is going to be the full buy for Bren, and they will be looking to really capitalize on that and take this round. They are going up against lower weapons. Ayumi, in fact, going for the Bucky instead because she wants to save up, I suppose. You do want to get an operator online as soon as possible when you're playing on a map like Icebox. And so far, it seems like Alter Ego, they're going to leave Ayumi to watch for flanks while just pushing in towards this B side here.
There's a very good chance that Ineri will be that first player to pick up the op. And that's why, Bren, it is so important that they actually do as much damage as they can this round. If they can make it out to be a flawless win, that would be even better. But still, going up against Alter Ego Celeste, you have to be so careful. The slow orb just keeps you trapped in there. And that's why they don't have control over the site just yet.
Oh, Ayumi takes out her fellow chamber who was watching, so that's going to be the flank open. Nothing to watch backstab, and they should be able to get the spike down. Alexi, though, playing quite aggressively, and yes, she will be able to catch Iceberg off guard. Ophelia, though, she knows the position, but Mikasi's there for the backup. Shirazi gets a Yumi, all just Ineri and Nowski left right now. 2v4. Tries to get the no-scope, but Alexi hits it in time. Nowski, only a sheriff to work with. Spots 1, but it's not going to be enough as the brutal double peek comes through and Bren get their first shot on the board. Only losing 1 player in the progress.
And that is what they needed. Now, minimal damage sustained. Zinni should be able to buy back, and considering the fact that she's playing the chamber, she should be holding on to more rounds of the Headhunter and possibly building up towards her tour de force. But of course, as predicted, this is Ineri with an operator in her hands. And with such a big tool, she has the potential to lock down and block off any site, knowing how sharp she can be with this gun as well.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that she managed to get it as early as this, it's really important because when you're playing a Jet on Icebox, it's one of the most important weapons you can have in your hands. But so far, I think that Bren seems to be expecting it. They're not going to be pushing up towards Belt or even peeking forward on that ace side, because that's one of the most common angles for the opponent to hold. They're trying to work their way on mid, just being content to default for now, watching for any kind of pushes coming in from AECL. A little bit of mid control gotten there as a Viper Poison Orb comes through. Damage onto Ophelia as well. That's going to be the wall coming through, in fact, to stop it. But look at the position of Alexi here. I don't know if they expect it. He's going to be able to crouch peek and oh no, Ayumi! She TPs at the wrong side but falls into Alexi's claws there. Looking a bit rough for both teams positionally. Seems like the B side is open for grabs though, and yep, the spike is going down.
Just a smart use of the snake bite to prevent them from peeking in from middle as well. And now that the spike has been planted, the post-plant positions are coming underway. Alexi, what a nice shot on towards the back of Ophelia's head. And of course, Ineri, despite having the operator in her hand, she can't use it. All that's left is going to be Nafsky now in a 1v4 scenario. She hears them, she sees them, but she doesn't really have the best window of opportunity to take them down. And with the timer taken away, I don't think she's gonna make it out of this round alive. 6 rounds left in her magazine, and she is backing off. Maybe looking for that save. Wow, dropping through the fence still, and she still finds the frag. What she doesn't know, though, ZD from above. And just like that, she secures her round loss bonus. But 2-2, Bren Esports, they are not backing down.
Yeah, I think especially she really needed to save the gun there because the economy is not looking too good right now after that full buy, especially for a Neri. Honestly, sometimes I feel like getting a Neri and operator feels like tying your hands together because you're used to seeing the dynamic spray transfers, the quick shots, the one-taps coming in from her, and putting her operator seems kind of slow. Like Ayumi, I understand perfectly, especially when you're playing a chamber, but in Neri, it just feels like you're nerfing her.
Oh my gosh. Maybe. That said, though, she's 2 points away from her Blade Storm, and that's something that I'm afraid of. I mean, we talked about nerfs. That could be a big buff for her as well. That said, she doesn't have it just yet, and with that death now, she's only 1 point away from it. Alexi is the one that we gotta keep our eyes on as she continues to be such a menace in the sides of Alter Ego Celeste. The way that they push up front, it's so aggressive that for the first time, Alter Ego Celeste, despite being in the good position, they don't seem to be able to go in for that retake just because they don't have the firepower in this round.
It's gonna be just Alexi trying to get that 4K. Falls to really a Sheriff, but the trade comes through. And ACL will be able to buy next round, but look at the economy. It's absolutely really bolstering for the side of Bren there. And, you know, Alexi, she's not even going to be buying up. She's going to be just going in for the Blade Storm, possibly saving for an operator if necessary. Never mind, she just has to go for the rifle instead. But either way, ACL, this is their full buy opportunity before they're pushed into an eco. And they do have some ultimates to work with. Napski has that Viper Spit if she wants to cut off any kind of presence towards the ace side. Or Ophelia also does have the Resurrection. But on the opposite side, look at that. Not 1, not 2, but 4 ultimates for Bren there.
Oh my goodness. And that is quite a sight to behold. Watching Bren, oh my god, just flying all the way into the top of this spot on the site, getting the spike down. And have you ever seen this before, Zach? I'm not quite sure that I have, because Alter Ego Celeste for the first time just surprised and stunned. Like, how did they go through middle like that?
It's a take that I think it started off in the EU, that kind of a side take, meant to be, especially when you have a Jet, you just dash plants and try and hold. And Alexi, it works only if the Jet can manage to hold on for a while, and she's definitely managing to do that. In fact, getting more than her pick of kills, which is Ophelia left alone right now, but Alexi's gonna clean that up as well. You know, this is the best I think I've seen Alexi perform, and man, is she putting in hours in those aim labs in that match.
And it just shows how incredibly strong. This is why they picked this map. This is why they've been training for this moment. It's only a 2-round differential, but allowed to walk off with the momentum. Who knows how strong Bren could become? I mean, this isn't even their final form. And Alter Ego Celeste, for the first time ever that I've ever seen, forced to call a timeout, a tactical timeout this early on in the game.
You know, I think if Bren takes Icebox, it's also going to be one more in the history books for them, because I don't think Alter Ego has ever been to WOD. They've lost 2-1 once to extent, but 2-0? It's never happened.
It certainly never has, and their economy not looking too great. Wow. I mean, what do you make of this half if Bren actually gets a strong lead, like a 9-3, for example?
I mean, we don't talk about 9-3 in this house, but any kind of strong lead, it's only going to put them in a stronger position, because, again, this team comp they're running, definitely, when you have a chamber and a stage, there are a lot of areas you get blocked off. Like, especially if you have a sage, and you just put, like, a trademark towards halls, for example. You can just play the sage somewhere else. A lot of slow utility coming in. We saw that last matchup coming in fact, towards B main. But either way, it is going to be both the ultimates invested, both the Blade Storm and the Tour de Force from the side of ACL here, trying to stop the pick. And they left B open for retake, but oh my, what a shot from Alexi. Once having a Neri there. Still 3 players left though on the side of A, and it seems like a very difficult task. Ayumi gets 1, gets 3! That's a collab coming in. Only 2 players left for her to fight, and one look impossible for AECO suddenly looks more than probable as it's just 2 players left to make that one all in the hands of sole player Ali. 1v2 right now, but Oreophilia, she also has a
she's
resurrection.
That may be. Oh, and she's going to spend it too. Just swings off of it. Wow! What a way to turn this round around on its head. Thrifty win for Alter Ego Celeste, and we're now 3-4.
Yeah, I think a timeout was exactly what they needed because they not only managed to stop Bren from, just running away with the rounds, they also figured out a plan, and this is fantastic. They expected the mid push again, this time towards A, and they stacked it. So really made Ayumi's job easier, though, honestly, with that turret, of course. The peak, the re-peak, and of course the collab. Fantastic. Looking at, they still do have the money to buy Bren, looking pretty healthy, and that's going to be the tour de force from Zinni this time. A little bit of reverse action here.
Just a little bit, not quite the collateral, but that is that opening pick that does give them the numbers advantage. And now Alexi, looking to pull off some acrobatics of her own, able to take the big chunk of health off of Oreophilia. Now walking into a Zinni too. Neri's still online though, and even inside of the Viper's Pit, she's able to take down Alexi. That's the Blade Storm gone, and back into the Viper's Pit. Napski's able to burst them down. 3v3 retake, Zach.
It is, but the thing is, the Viper's Pit is still online, and look at the damage ticking. It's going down so steadily here, especially with Shirazi playing so close. Ali gets one, Iceberg gets the trade, but they haven't checked her. Shirazi gets one, and it's just all in the hands of Natsuki. Look at her position! She takes that Shirazi, that's the Viper's Pit gone, but there's no time left. And Zinni, all she has to do is TP, tries to get the last pick, and yes, she hits. Insult to injury. That is to save the Spectre as well. Never mind, she just chooses to die. But what a round coming again from Bren. Zinni was like, yeah, you get 3 with the Tour de Force, I get 3 with the Tour de Force. Let's go. And it's going to be Bren taking the lead again.
Let's freaking go. I mean, Zinni finding those frags was absolutely insane, but I gotta say, impactful moments came in because of that wall plus Viper's Pit combo. No way you expect there to be a Sage Wall inside of the Viper's Pit. And more often than not, how do you even expect Shirazi to be hiding around the corner of it as well? It's such a cheeky play that Alter Ego Celeste just didn't quite expect it.
Oh, that was an excellent play though coming in from Oreo there. She hears him coming mid and she's like, nope, not this time. You do it once, you do it twice, not the third time, buddy. And she manages to wall it off in time and block off the players here. However, though, they are still in the halls area. The trademark presence, again, to give away the information, is going to beat both these players down towards the tube here, just watching, waiting for the push. And again, look at Spike though, it's heading its way onto the A side, and AECO, they seem to be reading this right. Look at their positioning.
Spread out across the map. And they're just trying to control it. Garage being blocked off, middle being blocked off as well, and just hiding over the top of Raptors. Ayumi goes in for the peek and finds that first shot. The res instantly goes through.
I mean, that's 5v5 again. Oh no, the Hunter's Fury is already taking damage to Iceberg, but she's gonna live to fight another day. And it seems like the A hit is on right now.
30 seconds left.
Oh no. What? She got a quick double, the instant tranks coming through. Napski finding yet a little bit more, but then Alexi answers back. And just like that, numbers advantage handed over to Bren Esports Victress. They get the site, they get the spike down. And even watching the flank, you've got Ayumi down to 5 HP. Oreophilia, though, not backing down. She's walking up front. Shirazi, where do you look?
It's gonna come down to the timing here because both these players are just one bullet from that Vandal. But Shirazi, she has to peek the right one at the right time. If she gets caught off guard, it's gonna be game over. And it seems like Ayumi might do it, but no, it's not happening. Shirazi, how? How are you alive? Gets one. Ayumi sticks half here. And oh, it's gonna be a classic coming out. That's the clutch for Shirazi. For a second, it looked so dangerous for her, but those low HPs, they're gonna let her win that round.
I got a heart attack, Zach. She missed the first right click. I got scared, and then she landed the next one. We are now 3-6. Alter Ego Celeste lagging behind by 3 rounds. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And now they're forced to eco again, or half buy. Bren Esports Victress look incredible.
Yeah, and this time they don't even have the bonus of the ultimates to help them out. There's no Blade Storm, there's no Turret of Force. Ayumi is stuck alone with this Headhunter, and the ultimate is being invested as well from Iceberg though. Even though it's an eco, she manages to take down Ali here. In the meantime, the B side is kind of gone. It's got the wall up, Elo control has been taken, and it seems like the spike should go down any time now. Looking at the position though, look at the alert coming in from Zinni. Just waiting for a push, and that might be the kill equalizer that the team desperately needs here. Yep, Zinni gets it.
Oh, this is scary though. But what a way to hop off of the plant. And just like that, they make it a little bit safer for them. And Neri not even being able to land those sheriff shots. Z now coming back in to help out. Alexi dashing up front just to throw off that crosshair placement. You thought you were safe. No. The aggression is incredible coming in from Bren. And it's so calculated, so coordinated.
It's incredible, and of course their economy is looking incredibly healthy along with their score through 7-3, absolutely almost dominating, I would say. And this is a look that is extremely new for Alter Ego Celeste. Sure, we had close maps before, but I don't think they've ever been messed around this much, especially after already losing the first one. Either way, finally a full wipe comes in, and this time it's Ayumi who picks up the operator towards that B side, gets the shot onto updrafting Alexi here, and trying to hold on to the site solo. I mean, Ayumi with their operator is all you need to cut off B axis.
You're absolutely right. That's just completely blocked off. You don't have the access card. You don't have a way to walk on through. But still, Neri pushing up front, they managed to take her down. They're just holding default in case more players push up. Slowly making their way through. They might be able to find... It's not safe, though. That's the thing. They never quite know where Yumi could be. And that is why they are playing so slow right now.
Completely understandable. The recon though, it might give away the information they need, but Zinni, she gets the timing right, and she manages to make her way into kitchen. The trademark is still there though to help her out, and it's just the thing is that Bren, they do have the Viper Spit to play off of, so as long as they can get some side control, they will be good in Iceberg. She's still watching mid, so that's going to be Zinni on the lurk who has to find the right timing yet again. 30 seconds left. They have to go somewhere, and the Viper wall is going to give away the information they need. 2 players waiting to hold on to it. Namski gets one, but the trades are really quick here. Iceberg making it really, really difficult right now. 3v2. Mikasi has to get that shot. Does manage it, in fact. And it's going to be just 1 player left right now in a 1v2. Mikasi, though, she's only 1 away from the resurrection here. So if she can get that first pick, it might be what she needs.
Just maybe. And she does nail it, but unfortunately she's slowed and now trapped in this one corner. Orifili could peek from either side, and she's looking for it, dancing back and forth the covers. And now she's made it out. She goes in for that res. She's got the backup. She's got the heals. Orifili pushing up front. She's spraying forward. Shirazi stuck in a precarious position. Pulls out the snake bites. Runs back around. Runs into her. Almost with a knife out, and still Orifili just a little bit more ready. Takes her down. Sticks the defuse. And we are at a 4-7. Clutched out. Res coming in as well, just for a little bit more help in economy.
Oh, that was fantastic coming in from both the sages here, especially Orifili. Shirazi, she could have. She took so much damage from that res, and the read from Orifili was fantastic there. She just went for it. She was like, "Yeah, I know you have the res. I know where the bodies are. Let me come hunt you down." And she gets both of them, pushing it out. Honestly, I feel like even if the resurrection hadn't come through, there might have been a better chance, because it was just both these players caught off guard and taking so much damage. Either way, it is going to be Ayumi on the turret, of course, yet again, and Neri has the operator as well, so definitely things looking good here for the side of Alter Ego. If they can close it out 5-7, they might be able to pull it back quite easily, I would say, especially on a map like Icebox. This time it seems like it's going to be a very straightforward A hit, as let's see forges forward with the help of the wall here.
That wall is just doing so much, but that said, even then, Nabski's still able to find one. And now, trying to get the spike down, not quite safe enough. And Neri on the top of Raptors. Got Nabski right below. even with the Viper's Pit, it's just not enough for Bren to get it down. And all of a sudden, Alter Ego Celeste are still devastating. Off the recon bolt though, Ali's actually able to find one. And then the second, still going for a couple more taps. She's got 40 seconds left, and her teammates are here to back her up as well. They're looking for a Neri, but she's so slippery.
Oh no, this is gonna be a 2v3 right now.
30
Only
seconds
on
left.
5 HP. And look at the position of this Viper here. She's making it impossible. The thing is, the clock is ticking, and all they have to do is deny this plant. Exactly. And it's gonna be a fake coming through yet again. The spray as well. And I think that they have to do it right now. Shirazi gets over there. That's the kill they needed. 2v2.
10 seconds.
They have to get it down now or never. The Viper's thing is oh no, that is so cheeky of her. Spike goes down in time. She gets the kill as well. And it's Ayumi left in this clutch now, 1v2. That was quite a comeback from 5v3.
Oh my god, oh!
No, not happening.
Oh my goodness! Bren! How have they done this? It looked nigh impossible. It looked like they were running out of time. They were stuck in that Viper's Pit forever. And all of a sudden, one recon bolt, just running at a Neri with a shorty? Ha! Oh my god.
I feel you. I feel exactly the same way. I'm out of breath. I have no words. But what a round coming in from the Bren girls there. And of course, that was a 3v5. 2v4 after we were going to take one down. And they managed to pull it off somehow. I have no idea how. But Ali especially so instrumental. No hurry at all. Like, she could have gone for the spike plant anytime. But I think she faked it like at least 4 times. Managed to trap 2 players in her bait. And of course, after that, it was just Shirazi popping off with first the Vandal and then the Shorty. Definitely a really well-deserved round. And this is the thing. It's an 8-4 half. So Alter Ego, they're going to have to do some kind of magic to bring the scores back from this kind of strong lead, I would say.
It really is. I mean, 4-8 is not small at all. I mean, it's one round away from 9-3, but you know, it's just so dangerous with the way that Bren are performing right now. They look so incredibly good. I mean, we talked about Shirazi, sure, but you also have to count Ali with her team plays. Ali with the way that she was just tapping away at the spike, hiding in the smoke, kind of lulling Alter Ego Celeste to walk into this lair, walk into this trap, and they were able to capitalize off of it. I mean, watching that, casting that, our adrenaline is shooting through the roofs. I'm shaking. Yeah, exactly, right? But these players, they are not budging at all. They're just hiding in there, so calm, as if they were the ones who were hunting their prey. And Alter Ego Celeste, I mean, despite so many heroics, a Neri trying to give off fake information, firing off the operator shot, dropping down, masking her footsteps, picking up the Vandal, they didn't really know where she was, but they were still able to turn that around on its head. It's just so incredible to watch Bren play this way. And now with a 4-8, they could be the ones to knock Alter Ego Celeste down into the lower bracket, Zach.
I mean, last time it was Extend, and this time it seems like they have a chance at doing it flawlessly 2-0. And looking at the buys, though, the side of Alter Ego, they're not going to be going for that Sheriff. Alexi, though, is. So the Jet on the Sheriff is one of the most interesting buys, I would say, because she's one of those agents that lets you play in really interesting positions, even with the nerf happening. So Alexi will be looking to capitalize on that. And Alter Ego, they're just going to go for a straightforward B push here. It's going to be Mikasi, who does have a trademark as well as the wall to play off of. She's going to hear that drone and choose to fall off here. She's going to be waiting to watch this cross. Anyone is coming. And, yep, she's going to be falling back. In fact, she's going to opt to save the wall for defuse here, even if assuming they let them get the spike. And Bren is just playing this for a full retake. And I think that's pretty commendable. It's going to be Ayumi who goes down to get the spike. But Iceberg, she's going to get the first pick as Alexi bites off more than she can chew.
Despite that full retake play, though, I don't know if it's fast enough, because take a look at Shirazi. She's all the way coming in from the A site. There was a bit of flank in Zinni, but that was also shut down by Ayumi. Alter Ego Celeste are not happy about losing that first half this way, and now they're looking to hunt them down cleanly, perfectly, flawlessly. And it does happen, with the Neri finishing it off with the third frag in the round. 5-8, Alter Ego Celeste are back online.
Yeah, suddenly that 4-8 lead doesn't look as insurmountable as it's before because the odds are that they are going to take this buy-in that they have with the Spectres against the Classics, and that's going to be 6-8, and it's just so much more doable for them from there, looking at the loadout value and everything. Though, look at the positions of the Bren players, though. Again, they're just going to leave that B side and just stack A. And I don't know if Alter Ego is going to expect this. So far, they seem like they want to go towards mid here, and they are going to be using your utility for that. And meanwhile, it's just going to be a full-on A push as they head towards mid to B. A wrong read, and that's going to cost them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble that they went for, but still, I mean, Alter Ego Celeste, you can make mid plays, I can make mid plays too, and then Eri just flies into the site itself. Ayumi, the bit of a flank guard, unfortunately at that range, not quite able to do the damage that she needs, but her teammates here to back it up, and now Iceberg, Ayumi, they're able to stop the bleeding for the time being. We're still down to 2 players, and they all have Spectres. It's not impossible for Bren to actually retake this.
The thing is, there's no healing orb available for Mikasi, and also both of them are quite low, but definitely the damage has already been done. Every single Spectre that they can take offline from the side of ACL is going to be a win for them, and the caution coming in here is going to be really important, but they blocked it off. Iceberg and Napsky, though, they clean it up. And they will take the round for a second, though it looks incredibly dangerous as, like you mentioned, the wall went up, but the lineup was still there.
Yeah, it certainly was. And that toxin just spilled over. Not to mention the player coming from above as well. And that is now Alter Ego Celeste and what they look like when they are in full swing, when they are in control. Of course, though, sustained quite a bit of damage. Losing 3 players, they're going to have buy for this round. And this is where Bren could still go forward with their lead. Oh, what is this position? Ooh.
That's a spicy take coming in from Alexi. And oh no, and Eri gets that dirty shot.
Oh my!
And second one as well onto Alexi. Yep, that's the B side over, ladies and gentlemen. That's Eri yet again coming in as the hero with those 2 absolutely dirty share shots. Yeah, I think so too.
That was 800 credits. She got 2 frags, and now this is a 2,900 credit Vandal that she picked up from Alexi. And on the site itself, the spike's been planted. She tried to do a little bit more damage. We're back into that 2v4. Ayumi now coming in from the middle. If you're Mikasi, you're so paranoid about where you need to look. She eliminates that first threat, and now all that's left is what's happening on the other side of this cargo box. She creeps up front. She no longer has time for that defuse. Able to find yet another headshot and heals herself off. 4 rounds in the magazine. The lineups are at the ready. And now Oreophilia just wraps around the circle and puts Alter Ego Celeste, taking away that bonus round. We are 7-8, Sock. No way.
That was absolutely phenomenal coming in from her. For a second, I thought that Alexi's position there was going to net her more than one, probably a triple frag or a double frag, but nope, not happening. It's going to be Brandon, in fact, this time who's going to be calling a timeout after that loss. And it's a good time for them, too, because they are going to be on an eco here, so they have plenty of time to figure out how exactly they want to play this, as well as the future rounds, while also curbing Alter Ego's momentum.
This is possibly, but then again, you have to consider they're on an eco now. Curve the momentum all they want, but they still need to deal against so much coming in from Alter Ego Celeste. I mean, they look angry. They look pissed. They're going in so aggressively, and that entire round, just a Neri with the 2 initial sheriff shots, that broke the site completely. No matter where you were positioned from Bren's side, you'd have to drop everything just to go back in to reinforce the B site. And I think that's something that broke all the formations and allowed for Ayumi to come in with a flank from underneath too.
It was absolutely phenomenal because, the rotation, sure, they can be fast, but you absolutely have to watch middle while crossing over, or even if you're coming to spawn, if you don't know where the lines of control are, you're gonna have to pay for it. And right now, seems like ACL is on the line to get that equalizer for the score here. And Eri popping the Blade Storm, no worries in the world here for her. You saw her with the Sheriff, now you're seeing her with the Blade Storm. I think yesterday, in fact, we saw her in the same position getting a lot of frags. So it's going to be an Eri, in fact, who will be spotting out one player, gets it through the smoke, gets the reset, and now she's gonna be making her way back to try and get another one. Oriofilia taking down Mikasi. Alexi though gets that headshot, so that's a spike dropped in a very awkward position. It's retrieved.
Oh, that's it though. You still have to duel against an area, and then Lexi actually comes out on top. Down to a 2v3 now. We've got Ali backing her up from screen.
Spike planted.
What they don't know though is that Ayumi is watching this angle all the way from the top of Belt itself, and now even with the flicks, I don't think it's quite gonna happen. They're approaching her from two opposite sides, and Alter Ego Celeste are tying this up 8-8. Oh my. Just look at this from Inari, just unbelievable.
4 rounds in a row, and that was a beautiful rebound as well coming in from the Sova. That enabling her to get that kill right through the smoke there. Bit awkward, but nevertheless, Alexi, well, it's very rare to see someone jet dipping an area, especially against that blade serve, but she gets the perfect sheriff headshot, so definitely that's something that's going in the books for her there at least. Either way though, it is going to be her on the op, and finally, 5th round in this half, it's going to be the op online for Bren, and it might be what they need because it's going to be towards the B site where it seems like Inari is just content to wait patiently.
And she's waiting. But Bren aren't moving. They have a huge investment into this round. Zinni will be the first one to get spotted. But again, Alexi's the point of contact in this drill. As soon as she peeks out, oh my god, the tap from Inari! That's unbelievable! Zinni's gonna try to respond to this, but she's kind of trapped as well. She wants to get full value, but despite that, not able to find the frag, can't even rendezvous away.
Oh no, that's just Inari.
Wait, look at this!
Going.
The spike is going to A! What?
I feel bad for Bren here. They're just being played with. And of course, Inari gets tagged, but she does the damage. She's gotten the sight. She goes down. But this is the thing. Mikasi, I think that she does have the res ready. And Oriofilia is going to take that Shirazi in the meantime. They don't know where the ACO player is. But just know that the spike is A. And there's still somebody down towards mid. Look at Oriofilia's position here. She's going to be anchoring down mid until they take her out. It's going to be impossible to get that retake. And I think that Bren might just, unless they can get a pick real quick, they're gonna have to just go in for a quick save.
Especially on a map like Icebox too, there's so many different corners to look out for. Unfortunately, it's gonna be Orphea who peeks it, and then Ayumi to just follow through because she's positioned around rafters. Such an expensive weapon, and Mikasi's looking to preserve it.
Sure, maybe the first time around it didn't work out for Alexi there, but second time it might be the difference maker. And yeah, definitely holding on to it is a good idea because 1v3 with this much time around, there's not much you can do to mount a comeback. And ACL, they take the lead back. 5 rounds in a row here, Quack. Oh no.
It's crazy. Like 5 rounds in a row, yeah. And also how Inari's been finding some of these first floods in the rounds. Alexi had the operator. Zinni was there to back it up. And still Inari just peeks, gets the instant headshot. I mean, you have to be that good, that fast, that sharp as a player to pull off such feats. And now, with a bit of a half buy, some saves, I mean, Bren, they're trying to do whatever they can, maybe going for some cheeky peeks, but unfortunately it's not meant to be. Zinni forced a rendezvous away, and Alter Ego Celeste gaining free reign as they walk into sights.
That was a headshot onto an area there from Ali, but sadly Sheriffs only do 145 from that distance. Have to hit one more somehow, but nope, an area even with that much damage taken, she's still gonna be able to take her down. No fear at all. She peeks with 5 HP left into a Sheriff when all needed is one shot to take her down, and with that, the B side, it should be open. Oriofilia again wrecking havoc down towards, but catches the second player, Zinni, off guard. And it's Alexi stuck in this corner here with the operator, not knowing where to look, not knowing where they're going to be pushing her from. And it seems like Alter Ego are close to getting double digits.
They're primed for that. Shirazi, though, gonna try to find whatever she can, but the one player that I'm most afraid of right now is Oriofilia. She makes a long flank all the way through. A good spray coming in from Shirazi, and it's still not gonna be enough. Oh my god, she still connects onto Oriofilia, anticipating that push. But now down to the 1v1, a single bullet for either of these players and they are dead. Napski, though, she has the advantage because of the spot. Goes in for the peek!
Oh, no.
And all she does is left click. Takes Shirazi down, denying that ace. And putting Alter Ego Celeste at double digits.
Shirazi, that was unbelievably close for her as she gets those kills. Absolutely popping off, especially that kill onto the stage there. Already Ophelia being caught off guard. If you just waited a little bit longer, she might have been able to catch Napski. Swung too close, aimed too wide, and unfortunately that's gonna be lost for her. But absolutely phenomenal. That's the kind of play you can expect from her. It's just unprecedented. Either way, there is the Blade Storm available, Tour de Force, as well as I think a Bulldog, so it's not over yet in this round. But look at the smoke from Binary causing so much trouble here for the defenders. They don't know if they've crossed over or not. And Zenny, she's gonna have to watch multiple angles. Has to TP away after she gets tagged. Alexi, though, still playing so close here. A very dangerous game.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh, the tailwind. She kind of got trapped over by pipes for a second, but still managed to jump away. And now Ali coming in with the support from the Hunter's Fury. It's still not enough though. Mikasi trapped in a corner. Props the wall up, but she's still pinned down. And Napski probably able to take her down. Alter Ego Celeste looking to rotate off of the initial frags. They're looking to go in towards B site. Mikasi almost getting caught out in the open. They still just don't have the firepower that they need, and because of that, Alter Ego Celeste are very likely able to take down the site. The Viper Spit committed, but instantly getting taken out as well. No freaking way. It's a 5v2, Zach.
Make that a 5v1, all down to Alexi. She does have the Blade Storm, gets a Yumi out, gets that reset on the blades. 4 left to find, and now they know where she's coming from. And look at the position of these Alter Ego players, holding that deadly crossfire to Neri. She's gonna get her third on the round. 11-8 right now. Sure, that was a 30, but there were 4 ultimates invested. Ali's Hunter's Fury, the Viper's Pit. In fact, only the Resurrection is still available right now for the side of Bren, and if they lose this, I think it's game over.
If they lose this, it's match point. They don't have the money, and that just could be the 13-8. Alter Ego Celeste have yet to drop rounds in this second half, and they are just unstoppable right now with the rate at which they're playing. I mean, just sharpness from Inari, the careful approach coming in, the rotations as well, it just confuses Bren. And now the toxic screen comes up. Ali might have spotted some of the players, but she can't really catch them.
Welcome to my world.
That's going to be the Viper's Pit as well, to add insult to injury. Napski being able to get it down, that might make this retake even more difficult here, even as it goes. And 5v5 right now, that quick side take really not doing the side of Bren any favors here. Clock. They have to clear out all these corners before they can even go forward here. And unless they kill Napski, it's going to make the retake even more impossible. A little bit of a one-way. Alexi is just going to be holding there, though. But it's going to be...
God.
Oh, no. And Larry, who gets 3 somehow, but Shirazi and Ali somehow traded out 2v3 right now. Oh, a nice little recon there. But Napski, she's pulling the same play that Shirazi pulled in the last half. And she's going to clean it up.
This is devastating. I mean, they tried. That was a full buy. Alexi updrafted mid-air. Mid-air! How the hell? Inari still flicked onto her head, of all things. Her head. This is crazy. And now, 12-8. The bank on the Alter Ego Celeste side is just unfathomable. Bren Esports putting everything that they have into this one round. And even then, we're still not sure if they can actually win this. Pulling out all the stops now, going hyper defensive. We've got Alexi just still pushing up front to try to catch him off guard. Is it gonna be enough though, Zach?
I'm not sure, because the mid push, it's kind of, we've seen this before, but this time they haven't left a Yumi to watch for flanks here, and they do have that operator online. Shock Dart is trying to do some damage, but not really connecting there. still going to be 5v5 right now, but again, the side is going to look at Alexi's position. I think that I don't know if she'll expect Napsky to be waiting here, and the spike so close to going down. The wall has been broken, so it's buying a little bit more time, but no, the timing is off for Alexi, and Napsky takes her down. Shirazi, she's going to go to watch the rotate here if it's happening, and she might be able to catch Napsky off guard. That might be the difference maker here. Nope, Napsky says, not happening, buddy. I'm the better Viper, and it seems like it's all but over for the side of Bren here.
Oh, and they're just rotating. If you're Bren, you're just stranded over by middle, maybe by screens, but at that point you're just alone, and they're getting picked apart one by one. Even with the rest, it's not happening. Alter Ego Celeste on the very final round, they make it a flawless victory.
Bren from 8-4 to 13-8. Alter Ego did not lose a single round on that attack. That's going to be the definition of flaws. I see you there, Quack, with your mouth open. I have the same reaction. Wow.
You're really just speechless watching such a play. I mean, that's 9 straight rounds in a row. 9. And they haven't dropped a single round. And just because of that, we're going into a third map, which is going to be Fracture, which is a whole other thing that we need to talk about after the break. But now, I mean, just breaking down what happened on that second half. How did Alter Ego Celeste win that many rounds in a row, Zach?
Inari, go kill. That's what seems to be the best of it. Like, everybody else did do the job, but I think of all of the rounds that they won, well, how many did they win in a row? They won 9 in a row, I think. Of the 9 in a row, she had multi-kills in like about 6 or 7 of them. So definitely Inari had quite a bit to do with that. Look at that ACS, 302. Wow.
Without a doubt. I mean, even in the first few rounds, I think round number 3 was when she started it, pulling out the Sheriff, and despite Alexi and Zinni's defensive positions, Inari just took them both down, got the free rifle, and at that point, it was just so tough for Bren to recover from that. I mean, they tried everything. They had the timeout, they pulled out operators, but it just didn't work. Every single thing, just look at this. 0 objective wins, all green for Alter Ego Celeste. I am speechless.
11 frag wins, that's something else. And this, again, consider this is coming back from a map loss, their own pick coming back from 4-8, and once again, they prove why they are the queens of FSL and VCT APAC. In fact, I think they're ranked number 3 worldwide now, so definitely proving that they're not a team to be taken lightly. And Bren, well, we are heading into map 3, which is going to be Fracture. I think that we are heading into a short break, though, so get yourself some refreshments and come back very soon to catch this exciting matchup.
Welcome back, everyone. And if by now you are not a fan of Alter Ego Celeste or Bren Esports Victress, something is seriously wrong with you because that was such an incredible map. This is an incredible series. 9 rounds in a row, won on attack on Icebox by Alter Ego Celeste. It's just insane. I can't believe what I just witnessed. But now we are moving on into map number 3. Hey, I'm Quack. This is Zach. And still, we are here casting these games. Fracture. I mean, what do you think about this one, Zach?
At this point, I honestly don't know because looking at the map here, Bren does have a 100% victory rate against it, but they barely played it. Like, they did play it, I think, in this open in the group stage, but apart from that, nope, not much interaction that they've had with Fracture. Alter Ego, on the other hand, has played it just a little bit more, and this is the map where they've lost before. They've lost to X10, they've lost to SMG, and in fact, they've lost twice to X10 if I'm not wrong. So definitely a map where, one of the maps where they have been taken down before. I think that is exactly what, got it into the decider. To be fair, the maps also, that the bans also have probably had a role to play in it because, Bren is aware that Bind and Haven are like almost perfect win records for ACO. So nope, not happening today. Instantly out of there. And of course, on the opposite side, it's a Sit and Split which also get banned because, well, again, these are maps that are really strong for Bren. So that just leaves Fracture. Seeing that neither team has played much on it, it is going to be available, I suppose. And we are heading into it right now.
I mean, isn't that just like such a weird way to go through your map veto process? Like, okay, what maps are my opponents good at? Oh, everything. So I guess we'll just play the one that's least played, and that's Fracture. So let's give it a shot. I do think Bren stands a chance, but looking at how Alter Ego Celeste really just dominated in that second half, it's a symphony of headshots and kills every single round. I mean, a Neri, a Yumi, every single one of them, they just popped off. And now in towards Fracture, where things are a little bit more unpredictable. I think if you are someone who's that strong at dueling, a Neri, you might be that team that just has full dominion over every section of the map. So it's not going to be easy for Bren this time around.
Definitely not. I mean, the first time they won after protracted struggle in overtime. The second one they lost with a little bit of a margin, but honestly they did quite well on the attack on the first half here. The thing is, heading into Fracture here, the hope that they have is that ACL has lost on this map before, and they've probably done the research as well regarding how they lost, because if SMG and if X10 can take them down, Bren can probably take them down too, is the mentality they have, because Bren has beat these teams before. To be fair, it doesn't exactly work like that. It's not a rock, paper, scissors thing.
Yeah.
But, at least they have some info available. ACL, to be fair, doesn't, because Bren has only played this map before, once on stream. The other times it's been in group stages mostly. So it's a little bit rough for them. They don't have much to go off on information-wise.
That's true. I do think, though, I mean, just putting things back into perspective, this is only upper brackets round 2, not finals. We're not even to any finals, not even yet, and the match is already so intense. Our league operator, our boss, basically, she's going to have to sleep in the office because these games are going so long. And that said, it's a good chance for both teams to really test the waters, I'd say. On such a grand stage, sure, but also the fact that you still have 2 lives in this tournament. If you lose this one, you're still okay. You just have to go for that lower bracket run, but that's not the worst thing in the world, and that is why I think it's a good time for them to try this map out. That said, though, I'm very curious to see how these Asia compositions will go, because I think Alter Ego Celeste might actually go for a fade.
Yeah, looking at how they've been running it so far, especially in the group stages for this tournament, they have pulled it out. It's been a really fairly stable team comp. In fact, they even had a Yoru in there somewhere against the team. But usually they have been going in for the Neon as well as the Fade Breach Initiator combo. part, of course, the Brimstone and the Chamber as well. It seems to be their most common pick, I would say. And it's really interesting because with Fate coming into the meta, she enables you to get a lot of information. Those Prowlers are really, really annoying to break. And of course, there's the Breach, there's Backup. I really like this because, this is a map where, again, we started off seeing Viper as the main controller of choice, but more and more, with teams picking Neon and the additional cover given by the Neon wall going in, it's just better to run a Brimstone because you have so much more utility you can use with the Molly as well as the Orbital Strike.
That's 100% true. I mean, it's something that we started to see coming in from Masters with Optic, Victor picking Neon and just doing incredible things with it. Team Liquid did so as well. And it really shows that on this map where your wall can provide so much value, the fast lanes, whether it's the fast lanes or maybe even just the toxic screen coming in from Viper, it's such a useful piece of utility, and that is why teams are starting to pick them a lot more often. But that said, though, you still need to find some of these frags. You still need to win out in your duels and find ways to really break apart your opponent's defenses. And that's one of the things that aren't that easy to deal with on this side, just because there are so many different spots that you can hide on. If you don't find that opening pick, if you don't find and win some of these duels, you're still going to have a tough time. You might be able to make your way onto site, and those sites are really small. You might not even be able to find a safe enough haven to get the spike down, and that's the problem.
Yeah, planting is definitely really, really tough unless you get complete side control, especially on this B side here. It's really rough because there's so many angles you have to clear out. Like you mentioned, of course, having a breach does help with that. That aftershock can really clear out some of these crucial corners without you having to pick it. And the first pick for both these teams is going to be a Neon and Neri on that Neon. Nice. I'm really excited to see that. So far, it seems like, in fact, they're going in for a double duelist. Bren, Victress, they really want to play aggressively, and it makes sense because they are starting off with attack. But yep, like I mentioned, ACL, they are going to stick to the comp that works for them so far, and finally I'm getting my wish. A Fade in these playoffs. Let's go.
Let's go with the Fade. A spooky Breach, and then Breach himself, actually. This is going to be an interesting one because both sides are trying out things that worked for them, but we haven't really seen them play against each other on this map before, especially with these compositions. The differences are stark. I mean, you might see some standard picks like with the Neon and the Chamber, but apart from that, you've got a Brimstone, the Viper, and then the double initiator as well with the Fade. It's going to be experimental, I think. It's going to be something where we get to learn how these teams actually innovate on these maps.
Definitely, and of course, I think it's a good call, as controversial as it might seem, to go in for that Fade, because seeing that she's relatively new to the meta, people haven't really figured out how to play around her yet, so there's an extra bit of ammunition for AUCL to try and catch their opponents off guard. But on the other hand, if you look at a map like Fracture, the thing is you have 4 places for the attackers to push from on either side. So it's going to make things a little bit more rough there. And especially on defense, the best defense is a good offense, and that holds true most on Fracture of all maps because the defenders can't watch everything, especially with the Chamber being nerfed there.
Yeah, no kidding. 1 trademark, and you are only able to lock down 1 potential entry point. That said, though, if you are a turret, basically, in human form, if you are a walking turret like a Yuumi, that's basically what you get to do. Zinni's already gone now. But taking a look at the minimap, Bren are sneaking up around through the tunnels.
Ooh, that is a very, very interesting
Oh
play.
my
And
God.
it's going to be a Neri, though, who takes down Alexi. That's a Neon's if anything. And already just 3 players left right now. Sure, the ace side is very good. And I don't know where they're going to go here after this, because it seems like everywhere they go, they have to take an engagement and possibly win it. And Neri, again, she's going to squad out these players. Gets one, almost gets a second with Mikasi. Left alone in a 1v3. 40 HP to her name. And I don't know. This doesn't look very good, especially with the spike being dropped here. Yep, it's going to be Oriophilia who spots her up. A little bit of pot shots traded back and forth here. The boot bot
Wow.
coming at her, but the Guppy swings just a little bit too wide and gets taken down.
Yeah, just really wanted to retrieve that spike. But that said, this is such an incredibly careful and slow play coming in from Bren. And it just shows that you can't really do that against Alter Ego Celeste because there's so many of these, like you mentioned before, so many corners, so many angles on this map that if you take your time and there isn't really control over parts of the map, Alter Ego Celeste, especially on defense, they'll put themselves into these lurking positions where they're going to be able to cut you off. So instantly kicking it into high gear, unfortunately, it's just not going to work out because there is so much resistance on the other side.
That is a Spectre dropped as well, and I think they should be able to retrieve it. So along with the Chamber Headhunter, it's going to be two guns that can do quite a bit of damage. Again, that nade coming through, trying to clear it out, but smoke is just so devastating. They have to wait before they can push in. If they get a little bit too overeager, it's going to be a lot of problems here. Of course, Molly does stall the push here. In the meantime, it's the B side still with a player on it. It's going to be a Yumi, and she also does have a buy. So it seems like they're just going to be content to wait. Sure, it's 4v4, but the advantage still lies in the hands of Alter Ego significantly because while Bren, they managed to take up control of main here on A, they don't have control anywhere else. So they seem to be wanting to rotate towards B here.
Well, they're certainly going to try. But they do have a Yumi in position, and she's going to be able to hear all of these footsteps, and instantly you see the rotations coming through. They are waiting, they are primed, they are ready, and all they need to do is to spray and pray. Able to find the first one now. And the rest of them stuck and stranded on site. At the very least, Bren, with the spike planted, a little bit more damage is good as well. They will be able to win in terms of economy. Wait, this actually just turned into a 1v1 in the alley.
Oh no!
Swapping over to the Classics. All she needs is one more dink, and this could be a win.
Oh god.
Swaps over to the Spectre as well now, and Iceberg just hiding, flashing over, gaining safe entry as she crosses over, looks into her back, and still secures the win for Alter Ego Celeste. It's a 2-0 start.
Oh, that looked so scary for a second, especially with those awkward weapons which is coming through. But Iceberg, she gets the timing on Ali there as she's stuck watching that angle. She's already crossed over and gets that pick. Of course, the spray from Mayumi, very very awkward here, but at least the trades are coming through clearly. And of course, a round finally coming through for ACL, but that's gonna take 4 of their weapons away. Just one Spectre left, and it's gonna make things much easier because of all those kills. Look at the ultimate for the side of Bren there.
It's incredibly close, but even then, I'm not sure if it's enough because Alter Ego Celeste just look like they are in peak performance right now. And given the way that they are contesting for control over A main, even with Aneri just a sheriff, I'm still really cautious about how this round could go. Oh, and there's just a
down, attacker spawn.
She manages to take down the spike as well as Shirazi, and they have to come back to pick it up. The thing is, she takes a lot of damage in the process, but she's still alive. And Ayumi, whatever HP she has, if she's still alive, well, that's not something you want to really go up against. In the meantime, though, Ali, these smokes coming in are so perfect here, and it's going to be an area on site again. Alexi just waiting. All these players stuck in position because of the aggression from Alter Ego Celeste, making life so much more difficult. And yeah, even if they do want to try and re-hit this A site, they have to get through so many bodies.
Oh, and those bodies will pile on. Bren not backing down, though, and they're just walking up front. The paint shells to possibly block them off. Unfortunately, though, it's the fault line that actually connects, and now the Aftershock pushes Zinni out of position. Alter Ego Celeste, they are just controlling the heck out of this site right now. And getting the bonus round, the free weapon upgrades, it's 3-0.
That is absolutely phenomenal. We saw what happens the last time you let Alter Ego get the momentum. They just run forward with it And it seems like this might be more of the same here with that 3K from Iceberg getting them the bonus. And that's going to push them into an eco. It's going to push Bren into an eco. They do have the Tour de Force as well as the Showstopper to try and work the round around with. But I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, especially with Inari, who does have that additional ultimate if she does want it. Meanwhile, though, Ali, she's going to be just holding B main here. It remains to be seen if she can find anything.
Gosh, not quite, because Inari's still so deadly on the entries. That's Shirazi gone now, no more controllers, and you lose a little bit of that stalling potential.
Trap destroyed.
It's just going to be the Showstopper coming in, but look at Ayumi's position, able to do so much damage, but nevertheless gets taken down at the end, and I think that's the site loss with that really important kill. Natsuki, though, she is watching the cross. Even if the spike does go down, the retake is definitely on here with the whole utility being tossed there, and Neri getting one with the wallbang. Zini trap over there. The flash coming through, that's going to hit at least with one player, but Oriophilia and Neri are enough to clean it up. Alexi in a 1v4, and there's nothing that she can really do. For a second, it looks like Bren had a shot, but nope. Players falling in quick succession means that's going to be a 4-0 now for all three.
Running low.
4-0. I mean, we started this thinking that, hey, Alter Ego Celeste, you know, they probably haven't really played this map that much, or at least practiced it in 5v5 competitive scenarios. But they definitely have done their homework. I mean, that's why this composition worked out so well for them in the group stages. And on the other side, for Bren, whatever they're trying, it's just not working out.
It's really unfortunate coming in, and this is the thing. It's going to trigger a timeout now for Bren as they try and pull the rounds back. This is the thing is that they are on attack right now, and Fracture is a map with all the gaps available. A little bit more easier to exploit, I would say. And if they're having so much trouble now, it's only going to be more difficult later. And they don't have a full buy now. But more than that, they have to go up against a like of 3 ultimates. And they're not easy ultimates either. You have the Tour de Force from Ayumi. You have the Rolling Thunder from Iceberg. Both of these can be incredibly devastating by themselves. And of course, if Inari is in a tight corner, well, you know what she has in her back pocket.
It's just that the big baguette called the Tour de Force, and it's just something that it's so daunting for Bren to take on right now. Hence the timeout, and even then, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. They might be able to take 1 or 2 rounds away, but momentum is definitely on the side of Alter Ego Celeste right now, and that's something that compounds over time. So going in for a quick and aggressive play now, instantly going in for control over Tree. They managed to take over that spot, but look at how Alter Ego Celeste are positioned so far back, and in fact pushing outside of Dish.
Oh, that is beautiful coordination coming in. Oh, Ali somehow gets both there. Still goes to the aftershock, but damn, does she get more than her money's worth somehow? I don't know, man. If I swung into an area at Iceberg, I don't think anybody could have connected those two, but Ali somehow does it. Wow.
That's impressive. She stood her ground. Unfortunately, still ate the aftershock, though. And now being really quiet. It's Bren slowly making their way through A main. The Haunt getting sent out, though, confirms that there are players with an S making their way onto the A side. This confirms the hit, and now they are looking to get the spike planted. Alexi, all of a sudden, the lurk, surprise, coming in from defender spawn. This round just might work out.
There.
That's going to be a really important kill, though, because Oriophilia did have the Viper Spit online. I'm sorry, Shirazi did have the Viper Spit online, but with her taken down, that's going to be no smokes, no light. I'm in a lot of trouble, but Alexi comes sliding into the DMs of, no, sorry, sliding in to take down Oriophilia there. It's just going to be nasty to 1v3. He gets one, but the trade is there from Zini, and Bren finally get a round on the board. Really well played by them. Incredibly well played, actually, and they still managed to take the Viper Spin into the next round as well. Also, just one away from that Rolling Thunder.
It just shows that, like, this is what it takes for a team to take down Alter Ego Celeste in just one round. I mean, first of all, they maybe overextended a little bit outside of dish with Ali majestically getting 2 headshots that way. Unfortunately dying to the aftershock, but still, with players down, that means less resources for Alter Ego Celeste, less map control, and it allows for Alexi to go in
Oh
for
no.
big flanks. But now, going in for the heads-up duel, Ayumi just wins it outright.
Ooh, that's some good backup coming in for Aneri there. She's playing it aggressively. The aftershock will let Zini stay alive because I don't know. I don't want to be pushed by 2 or 3 people from the main there, but she manages to fall back a bit. In the meantime, the holding pattern is true. Bren trying to do their own kind of default. The problem is Alter Ego is playing so aggressively that they're just able to take these players down, winning those aim fights, making it so pivotal. And again, look at the position here. They don't know anybody's short drop, but they're expecting it, and they're just waiting for them to come into sight. The Viper's pit, so that's going to be a new kind. But the spike is down, and Neri's sitting on it, and yeah, this looks like a very difficult round.
And it's not just difficult, it's so painful as well because there's so much invested into it. They thought they had the sight, but little did they know the spike just couldn't even get delivered through A main. The Viper's pit was essentially, in a way, wasted unless they can convert this into even more. But here's in the corner, they flick onto it, and now 2 players backing off. They've only got 18 seconds left. If anyone can get it planted, it's going to be Alexi, but Ayumi is already in position for this. They go in for the jump spots, but oh my god, Ayumi still connects the shot. And now Sniper Overwatch is at the ready. Alexi, she's trapped in the corner, tries to back away, and Ayumi just gives her no joy. 5-1, Zach.
That aftershock, because even without that, she could have probably tried to make a play, but no, she just feeds into rather, the waiting off of Ayumi there. And Ayumi, man, this is what I'm talking about. Like, she pushed the aggression from these players. It just brings Bren's defaults completely no avail because it just means that they're going to be a player down more and more. And like you mentioned, no map control. They're trying to play for map control, but the lack of trades is really, really devastating them. Unless someone like Ali steps up like she did the round before the last and does lifts more than her share of weight, it seems like Bren has no shot here.
It's really, really tough. I mean, one way for them to make this work is if they go in really fast and aggressive like what they're doing right now. That just might be able to catch Ayumi off guard as she is forced to fall back and reposition. Still though, making so much noise and not being gun ready, it allows for Oreophilia to find 2 kills, now making that the 3rd. They might have the sight and they might have the spike planted, but look at this retake coming in. It's just kills on top of kills. It's nobody's business, and Oreophilia picked up the quadra.
That was too much of an overextension. I think that Alexi was overheating a bit, and off that Oreophilia she gets 4 beautiful things. In fact, one of them was from her Molotov, I believe. A little bit unfortunate that she went down, denying her the ace, but nevertheless, ACL looking so strong right now. Economy so healthy. They even have Ayumi on the operator again. They managed to pick it up, I think. No, never mind. She managed to TP away. But yeah, again, they do have some ultimates to play with. There is that showstopper as well as Alexi, who can point her finger and rain down death. But the question is, if they couldn't do it with all 5 on rifles, will they at least be able to do it with whatever's left here?
That's what I'm not sure, right? Even if you point your finger, you could, but if a Yumi or an area are just that sharp and they deny that, you're not going to be able to provide that much value in the end. Alexi, though, not backing down, and she's just sprinting all the way in to create havoc, to create chaos. She finds a quick double kill, goes in to pick up the rifle, and now sight lines under lock and key. Even then, Iceberg's still able to make it a trade. Zinni picks up whatever she can find, and that's only going to be a Marshall. Instantly backs off, and maybe Alter Ego Celeste doesn't really hear this, so she might be able to get the spike down, planted, and then to reposition somehow. But still, this is a severe lack in firepower.
I feel so bad for her because I think there was an operator and a vandal up there, so if she had pushed up a little bit more, she might have been able to grab them. But the issue is that she doesn't know the position of anybody except Iceberg. She doesn't know where Ineri is. And that means that she just has to get going and at least try and get the plants here. To be fair, this is an eco round, but you know, it's still better to win as much as you can. She does have the Rolling Thunder to work with. She can get one, that might be what she needs. And the flash will come through. She's just going to be able to stick half here. The wall going through an hour position is given away as well. She's going to be able to get the defuse. It's very, very unfortunate there, but it's still a good round from Bren. But the problem is that they're not going to be able to break AECO's economy unless they win at least 3 or 4 rounds more. They're running out of rounds here, already at 7-1, and I don't know, Quack, this looks very, very difficult for Bren right now.
It certainly is, but they're not giving up though. Ali now pulling out the operator. It was a great eco. They did some damage. They show that they're still able to frag and duel against Alter Ego Celeste. They're testing the waters and potentially trying to find some openings, but oh my god. Alter Ego Celeste now just switching things up. Now they're going on the offensive with the overdrive coming in from Ineri. Getting shut down by Shirazi though. And that means Alter Ego Celeste needs to reposition, because take a look at what's happening on the A site. It's been left open.
It's something that they can capitalize on for sure, but the spike, it seems to be making its way towards B, and the read is correct from the side of Bren here. I'm sorry, ACL here, no, the rotation is coming through again, and oh, the flick onto Iceberg, that's going to be an important kill, because it's going to draw the attention all the way back to this site here. Oriophilia still holding on, and it's only Ayumi left on the B side for backup, but it seems like they still want to go A here. 2 players left to find Oriophilia and Navsky playing towards a CT here, and Mikasi, she's so low, I don't know if she's going to be able to hit it, but oh, she falls off the angle at the wrong or perhaps the right time here. Oriophilia left alone on the site, and she has to make this work somehow, especially with that Viper wall going up. Pops the Molotov, but a little bit too late, and the spike should be going down right now.
It does go down, but so are the rotations. They are already on point. And now with the orbital strike at the ready, they could essentially just flush any player outside of their position. Shirazi's basically fried. And at that point, the only one who can do something about this is going to be Mikasi, because A-main has been smoked off. She goes in for the swing, but unfortunately gets taken out by Navsky. Ali sprays through it and is able to find one, but now gets hit in the face by a Prowler. The second one comes in as well. She doesn't even hear it. The defuse has already gone through, and despite finding the frags, the wins still go to Alter Ego Celeste.
That was excellent coordination coming in from Fade and Brimstone there, because Oriophilia, she was just waiting for the reel to come through, gets that first pick, and of course, she knew that there was probably the spike planter or somebody playing on site, so of course the orbital strike comes through as well, getting another kill, or at least flushing them out from those angles. And of course, 8-1 right now. Bren, they still have the money to buy up. They do still have that Rolling Thunder available as well. Both chambers, though, they do pop their total forces, so it's going to come down to chamber versus chamber here. Ali, she's going to be playing a little bit further back. If they decide to push out, it might take life to the but look at Ineri. She's going to be getting so much control here from Dish. Look at this flank.
My god, they're just pushing out. If they want to push now, Bren has to do it in this moment.
No.
But unfortunately, they're taking their time, and this is when the flank comes through. They thought they were going to be able to pull off the split push, but instead they are the ones getting split pushed by Alter Ego Celeste, who are playing defense. Now the spike goes down. Even then, it's a 2v3 situation, and unless you can win out a few more duels, it still is a pretty difficult scenario to be in. They are trapped inside of tower right now, and Alter Ego Celeste are fully aware.
Toxins going up.
The win condition here is for them to get the spike down, because if Shirazi does that, she has that additional ultimate to play with. That's not even, never mind. It's gonna be a 1v1 right now. Iceberg versus the Viper here. Really clean movement there, and yep, she's just gonna book it out of there towards the opposite side. I think Iceberg might hear these footsteps and might even catch her in the spawn. But look at this, it's gonna come down to an aim diff, and yep, Shirazi gets it for the second round there. Manages to hold on to that ultimate as well, so definitely a huge win for Bren, one that they sorely needed. The confusion.
Or at least for the time being, yeah, 8-2. The second win for Bren in this first half. and they're still holding on to their ultimates. 2 rounds remaining before they swap, and they could use them. On the other hand, though, Alter Ego Celeste, it's just been doing such a phenomenal job at pushing in and out and knowing exactly where to go. Now going for information up over by tree. And it connects on towards Alexi.
Oh, no.
Shirazi with a swing, though, finds a Yumi. But here comes the trade from Napsky as well. They're looking to take down this B site.
They have managed to do it, and yep, that's the Viper's been committed here. Bron's coming through. So being spammed here, trying to slow them and get them through the smoke, taking a bit of damage, but nobody seems to go down. 44. And everybody is playing tower or the pit here, so they know that there's unlikely that there's anybody playing towards main. A lot of sprays coming through from ACL, and they have a long path ahead of them if they have to clear it. Prowler spotting out one player, and it's going to be a Neri who banks on that to try to go forward. The Viper's pit, though, keeping any kind of significant damage from happening.
How is she playing like this? She snuck all the way through. Of course, though, Shirazi with the shorty! Oh my god! How did she do that? Was that a triple kill with 2 shots? Oh my goodness!
I really wish we had her point of view, because you saw her fall back, had that crossfire with her teammate in tower, but I think she ran out of bullets and she was like, yeah, screw it, I have a shorty, I'm just going in, and she gets the ace. Unbelievable there. I really wish we could see her point of view. I hope she puts it up somewhere.
Maybe on Twitter. But then again, wow! Just hiding inside that Viper's pit for the longest time. We might have seen something similar in Icebox too. That said, though, this is now the last round of the first half. And we have a 3-stack from Alter Ego Celeste on the A site.
Oh, the timing there is just a bit off for Alexi, because she might have been able to get a Neri. That's some information, though, that there are players towards this drop here. And this time Alexi got backup. I don't know if they know that Zinni is also here. Meanwhile, though, the spike is on its way towards B here. Look at the position of these players.
They're just looking to execute off of this, but unfortunately the fast lane is not a solid wall. And the sprays will connect on towards the 2 players' heads. They know it's a fake. It's all too clear now. Ali will have to find some of these frags in order to secure safe sites. Even then, she just sends out the Nightfall, and here comes the Prowlers. They get the spike down, but how long will they survive?
Shirazi, though, she's there for the backup, and that's going to be a 3v3 again off that kill. Also has a snake bite to work with, so it might make retaking a little bit harder. Aftershock gets used as well. And they're going to hear Ineri dashing up the side. Nikasi, though, 34 HP, still gets one away from the pain trilogy. So Ineri, she has to win this fight here. It's so important, because if they don't take that Viper down, it's going to make life even more difficult. She gets 1, but the trade is there. 1v2 right now. Napsky in a terrible position, having to take this very unfair fight. She's not exactly sure where they are on the clock. Still ticking here. Nope, it's not gonna happen. 8-4 is the half.
He's just gotta just give it up. I mean, round of applause for Bren. This is how they have adjusted to Alter Ego Celeste's solid defense. I mean, every single round they try to push back and forth against them, but Bren has figured out a way to maybe just send out Hail Marys. It looks really scuffed and really chaotic at times, but if they can get control over the site, if they can get the spike down and put themselves into some of these post-plant positions, hiding up over by tower, even Makasi coming down from the other side of Arcade down the ropes, that really threw things off for Alter Ego Celeste as they tried to retake.
Yeah, definitely. That was huge there, but 8-4, it looks way better than, let's say, 11-1, which is what the half seems to be headed to. Significant advantage heading in for Alter Ego, though, and this is the thing, it's going to be a side switch, which means they're going to be on attack here. And I don't know, well, on a map like Fracture, double dose is great on attack, but it's going to make things much more rough on defense, unless they can do what Alter Ego did multiple times and did really well, by the way, which was attack. If they can somehow manage to pincer their opponents in and, confuse them enough to, get them to the point where they don't know where to look, that is going to be, really making their lives easier to win.
I do think that there's some merit to that, but it's just this map and with how you have so many different parts that you gotta look out for. I would dare say almost impossible for you to gain full map control because there are so many different spots. Unless you have all players alive, that's going to be a really difficult thing to do. Which is why it's something that really helps out for teams like Alter Ego Celeste, when each and every single one of them are so individually mechanically gifted that they could just push out every single corner. They are able to just really make it tough for Bren Esports. That said, though, the reason why that last round worked partially is because of that little suicide mission that came through from Drop from Dish. It bought just enough time to delay the rotations from Alter Ego Celeste. That's why I think on the defensive side, if Bren Esports Victress really figure out which sides they could push, how they could push, when they could push, they just might be able to cause a little bit more confusion, a little bit more chaos in Alter Ego Celeste's attacking formations.
That is true, and again, this is one of those things that's going to make it a bit easier for Alter Ego. Though they have a lot of utility, like a lot. They have all of Fate's kit, the Haunt, and of course the Prowlers. They have the Tremors. They have the Flashes. And it seems like they're going to be going for a very straightforward B hit. Both of these players, in fact, taking some damage, but Bren, Alexi is going to start things off with that first pick onto Neri. That's a Neon Zip right there, and it's going to halt the push off Alter Ego for a little bit onto this A side, but Spike is still on its way towards speed. The rotation hasn't come through because with that first pick going to Bren, there's no need for the rotation. Ali as well, she's going to be taking down her counterpart. So far, this map seems like they're going to be just trying to take down their opposing numbers here. There may be 5, but it's still doable for Alter Ego because look at the HP on Ali especially. Lexi as well not looking too ready there. Well, Iceberg on the zipline playing around. Okay.
They're going to meet each other. I mean, maybe cutting some people off if they try to push out from Dish, but still, the hit coming in towards the B side is what they need to look out for. And Bren, this is all too clear for them. They know where this is headed towards. Whoa! Going all the way across the map, though, Iceberg just might be able to call it clear that A site has not a single player defending it. So they might just be able to get the spike down, but then again, you're up against 5 players, even though some of them are low.
And that's the thing, like, Zinni is the only one with full HP. Everybody else is 1 or 2 bullets away from their demise. And Iceberg is holding a powerful position here. But never mind, she gets spotted out. That's going to make things so much more rough here. Kunka's coming through, and she's going to get 1, but gets taken out. It's all down to Nafsky. 2 in the round for her, 3 overall. But Alexi is there for the cleanup duty. And the defuse will coming through. 8-5. Bren looking poised to try and make that uphill climb back.
And you have to believe in them. They can do it. I mean, just look at how they take control over A main. I mean, it's these coordinated plays along with the breaches, along with the push coming in from Alexi, just because she has that sprint that can put her into more forward positions in a faster pace. If Brent continues to find ways to disrupt Alter Ego Celeste's approach by denying map control, they could just steal a lot more rounds. That said, though, take a look at this. Alter Ego Celeste force buying now.
Yeah, I mean, they did get the plot, so they can definitely afford it. They are going to have some players on light armor, but all things considered, it's a risk they're willing to take here as they forge forward again towards this ace site. Viper Wall, though, doing quite a bit of DK as they weave back and forth through it. Shirazi as well, tossing down her utility and stalling the push even more with that poison orb. And the first fight they'll have to take is Ali here on the site once it's through. But she's going to be taken down by Inari with that pause coming into play as well. And that's a site taken. Alter Ego should be able to get the spike down without much ado. And look at the position. Bren isn't letting it go for free. They're playing so aggressively, and somehow Inari gets yet another one. The Aftershock also doing, pushing Mikasi off the angle, and Ayumi takes her down, just waiting for them. Somehow making this work. It's falling apart so quickly right now for Bren here. Just 1 player left. Vinny, all alone, gets 1. 3 left to find.
Still, that's 3 players on the other side. She's looking up front. She's walking into sight, but the Haunt is so pesky. Forced to hide for a second, and now she no longer has time to go in for these duels for the defuse. simple swings coming out from Alter Ego Celeste, and with nothing but a single force buy, with all these frags, with all that coordinated plays coming in with a Yumi pushing out from the doors, they managed to prevent Bren from gaining momentum.
Again, like Inari and Ayumi proving their mettle here because they get two where they should have hardly gotten one and still somehow stay alive. That is massive here coming in from them. And, you know, it makes things really, really rough here for Bren because 9-5, it was supposed to be 8-6 off the back of that 5, but now it's not. Now 9-5, and they no longer have the money either for any kind of weaponry here. They do have a Sheriff on Alexi, but all the other players, they're gonna be stuck on pistols. That's two classics.
And that's the gamble that you can afford when you go in for a force buy. If you force buy and you beat your opponents, you crash their economy. They won't be able to buy for the next round, and maybe even on the next if you win this one. And that's something that really, really hurts Bren, because taking a look at the scoreline, Alter Ego Celeste are just one round away from securing double digits.
So close, but it's not really far away. Anyway, we are going to be having the eco again, like I mentioned, and of course a technical pause. So as you can see, you're going to see a shorty and a sheriff. Mikasi opting to go in for that buy because if she can somehow grab one, she might be able to get one kill. She might be able to pull out that showstopper. And of course, we've seen Ray's ults make all the difference before in this game. Utility doesn't kill, haha. Anyway, jokes apart though. Looking at Alter Ego, they're looking incredibly strong. Again, they're opting into just going for a buy here. Two Spectres save, the rest of them committing in Spectres as well. And you know, Spectres really suit them because they're taking a lot of those engagements up close, and it's really doing a lot of damage to the side of Bren.
And not just up close too, like non-stop. They never stop moving. And because of that speed, it's a little bit hard to catch up to them. So this tech pause gives the players a second to maybe just catch a quick little break. But even then, some of them are fixing potential issues with their network or whatnot. It's something that really doesn't bode well. And Bren require 4 rounds just to tie this up. It does not seem likely. But there's so much to learn from how Alter Ego Celeste plays on this map.
It's not looking very good right now because odds are that Alter Ego is going to be able to take this to 10 looking at the economy, looking at the buys here for both these teams. Bren struggling just a bit to find their footing here on Fracture. They look so strong on the first map, and even in the second they did quite well in the first half, but since then, it's been a slippery slope downhill. Maybe it's, I don't know, the extended gameplay getting into them. Alexi, she's going to push out aggressively, and Inari's going to just get 2 for the price of 1 there. Takes a little bit of damage, but that's a side taken as well. Pawn's coming through for additional information, and Spike will go down. The AB5 retake already on the back foot here. And Shirazi, she's going to be the first person to go into the smoke, seeing if there's anybody close by, but nobody was waiting for her. Peeks out, and she will be in fact spotted by Oriphilia.
I mean, sometimes a Neri, with the way that she entries, just looks like she's playing deathmatch. Now, even with the sheriffs, the shorties, whatever they're trying to find, it's not going to work out just because the positions. Alter Ego Celeste completely surround the site. No matter which way you go, there is a player there. And that is the double digits that we were talking about. Bren able to buy into this next round, but still, like you mentioned, the Spectres really suit Alter Ego Celeste, and playing for those close quarter duels, you've got overdrive in the form of Inari, you've got running and gunning, even with rifles, unless you're playing really far back defensive positions, it's going to be tough to try to fight Alter Ego Celeste.
So far, it seems like from both the Neons, Alexi has used the ultimate to better regard, but this might be the round where we see Inari in fact getting a little bit of revenge there. The finger of death, as I like to call it. Unless you get the headshot immediately, you're not gonna have a good time there. Yep. Oh, she's pissed and she's going at them there. The rage coming through here as she makes her way towards main, and that's gonna be first kill coming through from Mikasi though, but she manages, Iceberg somehow manages to get 2, and it's gonna be, oh no, the cooldown coming through at the worst time possible for Inari there. Iceberg getting
One
3
enemy
now,
remaining.
hunting for the ace. Ayumi again stealing it from her. And Ophelia, she's gonna clean it up. For a second, it looked like Bren had the perfect aggression. But again, that door, everybody fighting face to face. Spectres running and gunning at them. It's just too much for Bren to chew.
It really is too much. I mean, how can you possibly control the map? You're on defense and you need numbers advantage just to deal with
There.
Alter Ego Celeste's aggression. Even if you want to make counter-aggressive plays and to push out, you can't really do it alone. So when you go in together, you kind of box yourself in, especially up over those doors like we just saw, because Alter Ego Celeste on the attacking side, they are the ones making plays. They are the ones being more proactive, and Bren are forced to react. I mean, dropping it from Dish, I don't think they really expected that. They didn't expect players to come in all the way through to B main, coming from behind them, Iceberg with those swings, and now she has the Rolling Thunder too? Oh my goodness. We are very likely going to see match point now, and this is a desperate, desperate timeout being called out by Bren.
Desperate indeed, but to be fair, Bren, they do have some things left in their bag of tricks, which looks kind of desolate, but it's still nevertheless there. And if you have the showstopper, you do have the overdrive as well from Alexi this time, and you do have Rolling Thunder as well from City, just 1 point away from both of these pivotal ults that can help them break or make the round here. Seems like they want to go towards the B site, and lucky for them, it's only going to be one player here, Shirazi, who is devastating them, gets that headshot onto Inari, and Ali is here as well, watching the cross. Will get spotted out by the Haunts, but will be able to fall back to safety. 4v5 right now, but the weaponry is still advantageous towards Alter Ego here significantly, as Napski, she's gonna be watching for any kind of person picking up that rifle.
And that's just the trap that's been laid out. She gets the first one, maybe sustaining a stun, but to what avail? She already knows where you are. You sustained so much damage now, and Zinni's down to 26 HP. Ali trying to find whatever she can. Sends out the Rolling Thunder too, but it's still a 1v2. On the other side, Ophelia already prepared to gun her down, and this is now match and series points for Alter Ego Celeste.
You know, that was a really, really nice try coming in from the breach there, but unfortunately for Zinni, Ophelia doesn't care. She's like, we're up ahead. I don't care if you concuss me. I don't care if you flash me. I know where you're coming from. I'm just gonna keep spraying. And since Zinni was so low, she just walks into it there. Really unfortunate, especially considering she did manage to pick up the rifle as well as some other kills, but it does seem like Alter Ego, they're on the verge of closing this out. Oh my god, the Rolling Thunder committed right off the back here. And actually, if they don't check her, it's going to be really unfortunate. Gets one, nevertheless, though, stays alive, keeping the hopes and dreams of Bren alive with her.
Potentially going for even more now. They have numbers advantage, they have the trades, and it's going in. Spike carrier dropped, and now all they really need to do is to prevent Alter Ego Celeste from pushing up front, maybe even to stop them from rotating. So they have to be very, very careful. A single mistake, and we could be looking at a 3v3.
Here's the case, and that's the thing. Zinni's also quite low here, just 2 bullets away from her demise. And again, this zipline play coming through from ACL looks like they're having the time of their life as they head towards the flank here. They head towards the dish to see if anyone's playing there. But in the meantime, if deciding where they want to go with the spike, the rotation might indeed come through here, and it's just Shirazi on this B side along with the Rays. 2 players on each side, and it seems like they want to go towards A again with the Nightfall. That's gonna be Ali caught out. Trademark gone as well. She's still gonna be holding this though and paying for it as a Yumi takes her down. 3v3, and it looks very, very close to over. Never mind. Shirazi gets that kill. 6 HP left. Has that Viper's completed. I don't know, this looks a little bit difficult now.
Really? I mean, even with the fade, it just does so much. But that said, Bren, they go in, and they go in together. Players coming in from ropes, players coming in from dish, and they are just able to catch Alter Ego Celeste as soon as they get the spike down. That is one way to keep your team still alive, despite it being 12 to what, 5?
Yeah, well, 12 to 6 now.
Yep.
After heroics of that round, they do have the Viper Spit remaining to play around with, but as for the rest of it, ACL's economy still looks extremely healthy. They can even tank one more if they lose this, one more loss if they lose this. And the good thing is that they managed to pick up 2 operators, one from the Tour de Force and one from one in Mikasi's hands. So definitely might be the difference maker here. And I think you can see Shirati considering whether she wants to cut off the Viper Spin. It does do so. That's gonna leave Nisa a little bit easy. Oh, even though she's hit by the Prowler, Zinni and Mikasi holding strong here on the side. Alexi, though, I don't know if she expects Oriophilia to be here. Does spot her, and she's on the hunt, in fact. Wow. She doesn't care. She's just swooping in.
Swooping in, collecting those kills, and now just making sure that both sides, both extremities are locked off. Nafsky positioning, watching the angle, doesn't even matter because Alexi comes in to find that head. 12 to 7 now.
Again, Bren looks completely new, like a new team in these last 2 rounds, and if they can find that same kind of momentum and fire going into the next one, they might be able to go to an overtime, because ACL, they were in a similar position, 11 and 6, before they got it back. So if they can do it, perhaps Bren can as well. They do still have the operator in hand. They're able to capitalize on it. That might mean a lot here, and it's going to be Mikasi, in fact, who is starting off with it on this A side.
Little bit different though, as it's going to take a flawless run. 5 rounds for Bren just to push this into overtime. You cannot make a single mistake. And Alter Ego Celeste are looking to exploit that fact. Getting a little bit of information. They know that there are players situated up towards A main, forcing them to spend the utility.
Lucky for Alexi, even though her wall didn't exactly succeed, the Aftershock pushed the players off the angle, so she was able to cross over. But look at Ayumi. She's sneaking her way through Dish. I don't even know if there's a trap here to give away her location, but Mikasi, she's still gotta be watching this angle, so if Ayumi gets that peek, she's gotta peek right into it and just take it down. 45 now, but a little bit of excessive aggression coming in from Alexi. It's gonna be spotted out by the Haunt here, but that's the finger of death coming in. We saw Alexi get 2 kills before with the sneak eco. And it seems like the team of Alter Ego sort of stuck towards main. They don't want to rotate. And if they try to, well, they have Ali waiting for them.
Still, though, there's a lot of ultimates being spent, but Alter Ego Celeste are not backing down. They continue to walk on forward, and Mikasi shuts down Iceberg. Navsky goes back in to re-aggress, but little does she know, she meets 2 players coming in from Bren. What a way to keep yourselves alive. It's 12 to 8.
Holding on for dear life, and they're actually doing quite a good job at it. You think the pressure would get to them, but never give up seems to be the key word for Bren, and they are fighting and fighting hard. That's gonna push aside of Alter Ego into a bit of an eco as well. A very rare position that you see them in, and they don't have any ultimates to work with because they committed 2 of them last round. Both, or I think we did see Oriophilia's Orbital Strike as well as Ayumi's Tour de Force, and now with both of them offline, it's going to make life very, very difficult for AECL here on this eco because there's no extra firepower. But Aneri, she's going to be spotted out. This time, that doesn't get the headshot. And it's going to be Ali who manages to stay on the site here, even with the poison orbs to help her out. Seems like Aneri doesn't want to stop.
Oh my.
Oh, that looks scary. Oh, no!
How is she doing this? That's 2 hits now! The paint shells is what it takes to stop her! And then they won't really be able to retrieve the weapons. Ayumi, though, already through the tunnel?
This is bad.
Bren are just spread out all across the map. It really is bad because now the defenders are being dismantled. Navsky with the flicks now. The only player left, Zinni. She might have the Rolling Thunder, but that's 4 players. 1 from behind, too. She has no idea where to look. Able to take down 1, but Iceberg strikes her from behind. And just like that, they knock Bren Esports Victress down into the lower bracket.
For a second, it looked so close to being a 2-0 on Icebox right before we started the second half, but after that flawless attack coming in from Alter Ego, it's going to be fracture where they take it home. And for us, in this half, even though it was 12-6 for a second, it seemed like Bren finally managed to figure out what to do, but it was just too late. And Ultrigo get it in a thrifty of all rounds. That's kind of amazing.
That said, though, I mean, you really have to admit that the competition is rising. Last month, I don't know, last year, you would never have imagined to see so many games going into the third map. I mean, last year was just Alter Ego Celeste 2-0 every single time. This is not the case anymore. Bren are even starting to adapt towards the tail end of these rounds, and that is something that is incredibly admirable. I mean, they were starting to stage that little bit of a comeback. That once you have that spark, that could turn into a big flame. And that is why it's so awesome that these Bren girls are just not giving up in any of these rounds.
Definitely. And I think they're definitely a team to watch out for. If they can make their lower bracket run a little bit further, they will qualify for Elite. So we might get to see this matchup yet again. Looking at the scoreboard, though, it's going to be Mikasi and Aneri on similar footing. In fact, Mikasi is going to be the match MVP here. Well deserved, because she was fantastic on literally everything. We saw her with the shorty. I think we saw her with the rifles. We saw her with of course, the operator, and really, the operator, she was just scary. She literally pushed into a breach, about to ult, and still managed to get the kill there. Phenomenal play, but of course, Alter Ego, fantastic gameplay on that defense half there. It just made like an unbreakable dam. No way for Brent to pour through.
Every single aspect of the game still. This happened on Icebox as well, and that's just how Alter Ego Celeste plays when they are warmed up and ready. Every single player with the potential to frag out of their minds, whether it's Oreophilia or Napski, they're just that good. Iceberg as well. I mean, all the support is coming in handy. That said, though, I do want to give credit to Bren once more, because we're looking at all of these numbers. The MVP is Aneri for sure, but the highest ACS on this map actually goes to Mikasi. It was 305 that she had. Aneri had 303, which is such an incredible play, because if you consider the fact from the last two maps, Mikasi was the one who played Sage. Now she's on the race and she's still able to frag out. But that said, I mean, just one of the strongest entry fraggers that I've ever seen before. The E in AEC stands for Aneri for sure. I mean, just look at these numbers. 38.1% first bloods, and that is just how much value she provides to a team.
Yeah, definitely. Every single time ACL plays, she has at least one extremely insane round per totally, if not per map, and that's her on a bad day. So this time again, she was extremely impactful, but she didn't have to do all the heavy lifting here. She didn't have the rest of her team, but it's not over for Bren yet. Let's take a look at the brackets to see what they have to face up going into tomorrow and day after. It is going to be them fighting against TST here. Thirst Threads beating Orangutan of all teams to be able to make it forward. It's definitely a match to look forward to. We also have Sovereign versus SMG coming in, and of course the upper bracket finals, ACL versus Nigma Galaxy. So it's not over at all by any means. All these teams, SMG, Bren, and ACL, of course, so they are looking very likely to be the top 3 qualifying towards Elite.
Yeah, that's that is a given. Every single one of these teams right now, it's just so lovely to see the scene growing in such a fashion. I mean, SVR and TST is like Sovereign and Thirst Red. This is the first time they've made it to playoffs, I think. And they're actually putting on quite a show, making that far in. And at the same time, for some of these other teams as well, I mean, they still have quite the journey to go. Bren, yeah, they're very likely basically qualified, but I don't want to call it too early yet. And at the same time, SMG, they still need to claw their way all the way up towards maybe at least top 3 if they want to gain enough points for that standings. But that said, this is what we have so far today. Tomorrow's matches are going to be even more insane, and you're going to be casting them as well, Zach. Do you have any closing words?
Right now, I think Exton Crit is a team that's sitting at home watching all of these biting their nails hard because I think they were in the second place when it comes to points, but right now, Bren and SMG both have a chance to push them back away. So if anybody else is watching, it's gonna be them. And before come back here tomorrow for the first game of the day, I believe I'm just gonna say good night. Thank you for watching, and of course, my Mosey and my amazing co-caster Quack. Go give him some love on Twitter as well. He's hey, I'm Quack, and I'm Zacherman, which doesn't rhyme anymore, but it's okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying in with us for these wonderful games, and see you tomorrow. Whew.